From the iconic Speedmaster that accompanied astronauts to the moon, to the Seamaster loved by the world's most famous spy, Omega watches capture the spirit of adventure and precision. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, find a timepiece that matches your story. Elevate your holiday with an Omega timepiece from Bailey's and make this season unforgettable. Voted Best Jeweler. Learn more at baileybox.com.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs. This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The give to Hubbard over the right side. Breaks a tackle. 10, 5, high step. Touchdown, Chuba Hubbard. And the Panthers win in overtime. A game-winning 21-yard run by Chuba Hubbard. Sweet Caroline, one more time in 2024.
Ba, ba, ba. So there you have it.
Oh, feels so good.
It's a Monday afternoon, evening, depending on where you are on this planet right now. 2 days away from Christmas Day, Santa's big visit to your sleigh, and that is what Adam Gold is preparing for as he is off today. I'm going to be taking a little time off to spend time with family and friends and the hearth of the Christmas.
Right. Christmas spirit.
The Christmas spirit. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Thank you for having me part of the program. Victoria is here, the familiar voice you hear on the other side of the glass, making things sound nice. Hello, Victoria.
Hi.
Seems to be an upbeat mood when it comes to fans of sports of North Carolina-based teams.
Yes. What a great day to be in the Carolinas and a fan of sports.
Right. To peel the smile off your face would be impossible right now. To peel the smile off many faces is going to nearly be impossible. The only way to make this better, truly, would have someone from the great state of North Carolina to hit that $900 million lottery over the weekend.
That'd be great, too.
That would be the only thing. Like, that would be the icing on the smallest of cakes possible. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be just overflowing with icing. Because there were so many good things that happened over the weekend for Carolina-based sports teams. And I get it. There are those of you listening today, wherever you are around this great state of ours, who are like, I don't care about the Panthers. I don't hurricanes or what? I don't like hurricanes.
Right.
Wolfpack? No, thank you. No, thank you. State? No. The Heels? I don't know. I put those on my feet.
Right.
And the Duke Blue Devils are the Duke Blue Devils. And whatever it happens to be, you may not be a fan of those teams. And I get it. You are rightfully entitled to your thoughts. But if you happen to be around anyone who enjoys the sports that North Carolina provides, whether it's collegiate or pro, you will understand why today is a very good day for them. Why they might have just a hint of more patience with you today. And it's not just the holiday spirit. It's because everybody won. Mm-hmm. Wins. Full Oprah. You get a win. And you get a win. And you get a win. And
love to see it.
And for Carolina Tar Heels basketball fans, you got a come from behind win, which you have been craving for so long. Well, since the start of the season, let's be honest. Against a ranked team, let's be honest. And it finally happened nowhere near you. It was in New York, of all places. Yep. But New York was a great place for the Carolina Hurricanes, too.
I know. I was going to say New York doesn't like North Carolina much this weekend.
Not at all, Victoria. Completely not at all. There is no joy in New York, which is normally a not such a happy place for Carolina-based teams, especially when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes. But we need to get started and turn our attention to the Carolina Panthers. So let's get it started, shall we? And despite their best efforts, despite the Carolina Panthers defense's best efforts, they did not give this one away. 36-30, overtime. I'm not telling you anything you did not realize or did not know because, like I said, there are plastered smiles on faces. Today is a much happier, much healthier day, even though the Panthers were up 20-3.
Right?
20-3. And I know Victoria threw something at something when it was 20-3, and then all of a sudden at halftime it was 20-17.
What are we doing? Yeah.
And then, not like Kyler Murray went super Kyler, but he went above average Kyler. Like he knew that I just needed to get us into the extra frame to see what would happen. And they did on a 58-yard field goal of all things, where you saw Bryce Young literally roll the eyes so far to the back of his head. Like, seriously, what do I got to do to get this team a win and erase a 4-game losing streak? And then what do? They go to the guy who got paid and clearly was affected by the pressure of the big paycheck. And instead, he said, give me the ball. I'm going to carry the mail, put the bag around me, and Chuba Hubbard did what Chuba Hubbard does best, carry the football and carry the team to a win. I thought, Victoria, after the first run there, with about 4 minutes to go, that we were going to see a slicked-back Eddie Pinheiro appearance.
Right.
For just a chip shot of a 40-yard field goal or so. No. Chuba Hubbard said, no.
Give it to me.
Not today. Not in the final home game of the season at home. Not today. And what does he do? Splits 2 defenders, makes them look silly, and the Panthers get a win.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you're still smiling. You are still smiling. That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, of all people, Victoria's going to have so much patience today. If you were across Victoria during your travels over the next 48 hours, she will have so much patience with you.
And I do a lot of traveling. So
and
there
you do a lot of traveling. All right. Dave Canales, post-game speech. Let's lay it on him.
Hey! Panthers football looks like that. We didn't have any turnovers. No! Hell no! Could they run the ball in the second half? Hell no! You shut the run game down. You force them to pass. We knocked the ball down. We got after the quarterback. That's team football right there. That's team football. Guys, hold on to these moments. Every game is an opportunity to establish our style of football. That's what it looks like right there.
Hey, I love this team, bro. We just gonna keep working, bro. It's coming together, bro. I love y'all. Let's break it in. Hey, family on 3, 1, 2, 3.
I love that the locker room says "Choop" too. Like,
they should. They should. He carried them to a win.
Did you see that fresh jacket he was wearing too? Yeah. A friend of the show, Vashti Hurt, she had posted a little snippet of where she was talking to him about the jacket, and he was going over all the patches and stuff. I may or may not have said a comment. Hey, if he ever wants to give that up to an A1 fan since day one.
Right? That's funny.
I know of one.
That's good. Chuba Hubbard, the real deal. Everyone says he was undervalued when he was signed. He's definitely valued by this football team. Now, some people accuse me, Victoria, Paul Eihander here in for Adam Gold today. Some people accuse me of finding dog poop on the bottom of my shoe on a 72-degree sunny day, no matter what. I will not enjoy the sunny day. I will just be focused on the fact that there's poop on my shoe. Now, within that halftime, within that post-game conversation by head coach Dave Canales, what he did not let in on that portion where he said we stopped the run game in the second half. James Conner had torn them a something in the first half and was hurt in the second half. It was 20-3, as I did mention. I think I mentioned that once. And it ended up 30-30. And yes, they did stop the run. I'm not sure if giving up 30 points on defense is sustainable for this Carolina Panthers team. The last time the Carolina Panthers scored 36 in a game was when?
Ooh.
I'm gonna jog your memory.
Well, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago when Andy Dalton was quarterback.
Wow.
Against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
36 against a bad Raiders team. Now, again, let's scrape the dog poop off the shoe now.
Yeah.
36 against a very game Arizona Cardinals team who was playing for a playoff position, of which The Carolina Panthers said, no, Arizona Cardinals, you will go home the same time we will. You will not play in the postseason. So that is well done. No doubt, that is well done. The game manager, Bryce Young. And that's what we can call him right now. He is an NFL quarterback, but yesterday was about managing the game. Talked about how the team has grown together in the face of adversity.
I think it's just us coming to our own, being able to start to establish an identity, understand what the brand of football that, we need to play is, what Coach brought here, and, getting more reps at that, more opportunity, us being able to grow together, to establish that, have that belief within ourselves. I think that, is something that's definitely grown throughout the year and something we have to continue to keep building on.
And that is a positivity from Bryce Young. That is quarterback speak. There's no doubt about it. But hang your hat on it that there weren't enough mistakes to be made across the board for the Panthers to lose this game. They definitely tried to give a little bit of it away, but they managed to grind it out in the end. And the overtime is where you close out games very clearly. Tough teams do that, and they took another big step in doing that, doubling up their win total from last year.
Right.
That is unavoidable. Sending a team home packing, and now can continue to play in that spoiler role because they have Tampa and Atlanta coming up. Both teams tied at the top of the NFC South. Both teams hungry for postseason. Tampa did itself no favors losing to Dallas on Sunday night. Atlanta's breaking in a brand new quarterback, so we're not quite sure what we're getting with him, although Michael Penix did look pretty solid against the New York Giants.
Oh, bad.
Let's remind ourselves, the New York Giants have the number 1 pick right now in the NFL draft if the season ended today.
Yes, they'll probably keep it.
So the Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons have something in common. So the Panthers can continue to play spoiler, in which they can make sure that neither of those teams get to figure out if they're going to play in the postseason until after the final gun has sounded on the final Sunday of the season. So that is good news, Panthers fans. Smile. It's okay to smile.
It's a good day.
It's a good day.
It's a cold day, but it's a good day.
Yeah, hey, a cold day, but at least it's not a cold day in hell. Because we would be speaking about that last year.
Yes.
A cold day in hell.
Yes.
Getting wins like that. And maybe a glimpse into the future of what this team needs to look like. Now, the way Dave Canales' identity with this team, what does he always say he wants to do, right? With authority, run the football. Running the football with authority also means you're going to mix up some passing too. Outscoring teams that score 30 points is very difficult when you want to play a ball control kind of game. But they managed to pull it out on Sunday. Maybe some of that magic is starting to get sprinkled, and as Bryce said, maybe this is this team coming together. 36-30, overtime. Let's talk professional hockey now. Carolina Hurricanes went into the House of Horrors.
Yes.
On Saturday afternoon, taking on the New York Rangers. And it was the biggest scare of them all when Jimmy Vesey scored in the first 17 seconds of the first period of the game yesterday. But then the Carolina Hurricanes settled in nicely. Bill Carrier got a goal. Jack Roslovic got a power play goal. His first goal in the power play, by the way. His first goal non-5-for-5 action. And he's got 14 goals, and now he and Marty Necas now stand atop of the goal scoring for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Sebastian Aho got his empty netter. It was a Russian duel on the ice, everybody. With Pyotr Kochetkov on one side, invading the other part of Russia with Igor Shesterkin. One of those goalies is going to get paid $11 million next year. One is not. Both played very well, like they would earn every penny of their paychecks. But it was Pyotr Kochetkov who did a lot of things. Pyotr Kochetkov scares me every once in a while. But yesterday he made a couple of aggressive plays, but stayed within that goalie boundary to where sometimes, and you all get it, when you watch Pyotr Kochetkov play goal, he gets a little bit far out there, and you're like, get your butt back in the crease.
Right. Don't be in the face-off circle.
Right. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you out there? It's like, grab the rope. Come on, pull it back in, pull it back in, pull it back in, pull it back in. And he didn't do it yesterday, but he was still aggressive. He had a couple of great poke checks. One was on a power play. One was towards the end when they were trying to empty net man advantage, which actually ended up setting up that empty net goal for Sebastian Aho. Pyotr Kochetkov had 2 assists. 2 assists along with 30 saves. He was outstanding. Rod Brindamore even said it himself how outstanding Kochetkov was yesterday.
Oh, well, he was good. I mean, it was a tough start.
Okay, he was
we
good.
gave up a weird one right off the bat where they made a nice play, and But then after that, he was solid. I mean, he made, I don't know how many, but a lot of good backdoor plays, especially on the power play for them. They had a few good looks, and he was great for us.
He made some stops in that first period where the Rangers, probably the first, I want to say about 4 to 6 minutes of that first period, kept getting breakaways, or they were getting 2-on-1s with a couple of extra passes and whatnot, and they just couldn't find any sort of air between Kochetkov and the back of that net, which is a credit to him, which is a credit to the Hurricanes. Getting away wins are important. Getting wins, especially on this trip that they've got going on right now. It started a little ugly before the weekend against Washington. That one was...
Yeah, that was rough.
It was an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in an enigma. It just didn't look good. But they get the win against the New York Rangers, and they have back-to-backs. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, this is a story of two teams going in completely opposite directions right now. The Rangers have had full turnover. And you've heard Adam Gold talk about this, but when you get rid of your captain, and send him packing to the West and Jacob Trouba, and then you trade another guy in Capo Caco, and you have the Matt Rempe, who is a rhinoceros on ice, who just gets suspended for, I believe it was 8 games, for boarding a Dallas Stars star, you are in trouble. And your best player is your goalie. And Igor Shesterkin did his best. But it seems like if there is some sort of comfort for Carolina Hurricanes fans, it feels like they have solved the issue that is Igor Shesterkin. They have found ways to break the ice around him. And empty net goals don't count. I don't count that one. But he did give up 2, and 2 within 5 minutes of each other. And one happened to be on at the end of a 4-minute power play where the Canes kept shooting, and the Rangers were doing their best, and it just finally gave out. And when it always happens in power plays. It always happens right at the end. Mm-hmm. You hear the goalie bang the stick on the ice.
Yep.
And something always happens, without a doubt. I would love to see the analytic on that one.
Yeah, that would be great.
As soon as you hear the goalie slap the
it's a warrior
stick,
call.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wait a second. Maybe I shouldn't be slapping that stick because it's coming right back at me again.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Hurricanes did well, 3-1. They have the Nashville Predators tonight in a back-to-back, waiting to see who gets the call and goal. Probably Dusty.
Yeah.
We'll get a roll for them, and we'll see if the Hurricanes sustain any sort of bumps or bruises as they roll on. But it is a reunification or reuniting with Brady Shea, former Carolina Hurricane, who took the money to go to Nashville to a bad Nashville Predators team. But he's played every night. He's got a couple of goals, and it will be good to see him on the ice. I hope we destroy him.
Right. Love you, but hope you lose.
Love you, but not in love with you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about comeback Carolina, shall we? North Carolina Tar Heels, in which they have been, and this is the basketball team, not talking about the football team. I mean, we could, I guess, talk about the football team, but we want to focus on basketball right now. Because this is nearly the end. They still have one more, but nearly the end of the non-conference schedule. And the one thing that the North Carolina Tar Heels were searching for, had been looking for, and I had said it on my program locally in Raleigh on 99.9 The Fan, was a signature win. And a signature win that they could count on against a top 25 team. And they were they ran out of opportunities. This was the last bit in this CBS Sports Classic thing in New York, in which the North Carolina Tar Heels nearly faded into existence. They were fighting for their lives, looking for something, and they were down 16 points. Again, the comeback kids of Carolina. They were down 16 in this one. 8 at halftime, and clawed and scratched their way back so much that they got it. They came all the way back. 76-74 over UCLA. And it was this thought of where this team could be if they made a simple lineup change. And the lineup change didn't happen, but a lot more minutes came from their star freshman Ian Jackson and Hubert Davis, the head coach of the Heels. Thankful Ian Jackson showed up and showed out in this one.
Well, he's still a freshman, but I'm just really proud of him. Obviously, it has nothing to do about today. Every day after practice, he always sends me a text and he says, Coach Davis, that's it. And so I have to call, I go, Player Jackson. And he goes, how can I improve? What can I do better? Every day.
He does that, and that's the thing. When you're around great kids like RJ and Ian, and you get to coach them, and they want to be coached. That's the biggest. That's really enjoyable and fun for me.
24 for Ian Jackson in the win. 32 minutes off the bench. Had to supplant some of the starters from time to time. RJ Davis did what he needed to do. Seth Trimble did what he needed to do. Elliot Cadeau, though, and Ian Jackson, though, the one thing that they need to control, need to figure out is how to take care of the basketball. Between the two of them, they had 9 turnovers. And that's not how you win basketball games. That's how you end up with 16-point deficits, not 16-point wins. Hard-fought win, it's a grow-up game. It's a glow-up, grow-up kind of game for the Heels. They needed one of these. They needed one against a good basketball team in UCLA, and that's a slip-up for the Bruins, but it's a level up for the Heels. They needed one. They needed to finish one of those comebacks. They've been starting out slow. Don't quite understand what that is. Ian Jackson came to play. And the one thing about Hubert Davis is now that he understands what he's got, and he can get that production off the bench from Jackson if he gets the consistent minutes. It's very clear. When he plays more, he scores more because he feels like he's more in rhythm. RJ Davis is going to get his points too. It's going to have to come at the sacrifice of somebody else. We understand this. I'm not quite sure you can keep running out a 4-guard lineup in the ACC. You might be able to run guys around a little bit, but if shots don't fall and you can't clean the glass, you can't get rebounds or second chance opportunities, it's going to hurt you. I'm not telling Carolina basketball fans anything they don't know right now. Nothing. But what is important for the Heels to understand is they do have some weapons off the bench. That rotation, I believe, is going to get a lot tighter. And the faces that you saw last year, or at least the faces that you saw starting this year in that starting lineup, the Jalen Withers and the Jalen Washingtons of the world, are going to see fewer and fewer minutes. They're seeing the same thing at Duke right now, Victoria. Duke took out Georgia Tech over the weekend. This was a cakewalk. Like, this was the epitome of a cakewalk. It was tight in the first half for sure. Second half, it was about just kind of asserting dominance. 82-56, Duke Blue Devils over Georgia Tech. Con Kneppel had 18 points, kind of erased some of the shooting woes that he had been dealing with. Some solid performances once again out of Cooper Flagg, Tyrese Proctor, Malawak. Caleb Foster, though, finds himself playing fewer minutes, but chipping in the same amount of points right now. He has turned into a little bit more of a role player as John Shire figures out his lineups and has inserted Sion James to take out some of those minutes. But Duke is playing very good basketball right now. There's a lot going on there. John Shire talking about the evolution of the Blue Devils as they head through and start ACC play.
I think we've grown so much. Just the togetherness, the toughness, and specifically the thing that's grown the most is our defense. I look back on that game, our defense wasn't close, to where it is now, and that's going to be what drives us the whole year. And this team has embraced it. Con knows it, and again, we'll see 33 days from now, and we have to continue to grow.
Growth is a good thing when it comes to a young basketball team. There has been some acceptance of the roles, there's no doubt about it, when it comes to Duke basketball. And there is more and more praise for their defense every single night. They do defend really well. And they have turned it on since that Auburn game where they controlled Louisville and definitely kind of just mopped up against this non-conference schedule going into that game against Georgia Tech. It was good basketball for the Duke Blue Devils. That's about what you can say. It is solid basketball as they continue ACC play. It's a big holiday break for everybody. They have Virginia Tech and SMU right around the start of the year.
SMU football this weekend.
Oh, well, the saying goes, don't beat a dead horse, right? That was the beating of a dead horse at Penn State. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. All right, NC State Wolfpack basketball as we round out our little Let's Get It Started segment. They did the same kind of thing against the Rider Broncs. The Broncs are so bad they couldn't even spell Broncos. They had to drop the second O. This wasn't much of a basketball game. NC State Wolfpack played a ton of defense in this one. They wanted to make sure that they could get Kevin Keats' son out on the floor for about a minute at the end of the game. I mean, KJ got into the box score. Jordan Snell got into the box score. This was just about tuning up for the Wolfpack. They finished out things in terms of like that non-conference schedule the right way they needed to. they weren't going to be able to sustain the defense they did in the first half. I mean, they were up 29 at the end of the first half, folks. I'm like, if you didn't watch the game, you missed the game, or you weren't there in person. It was a Winter Wonderland theme night, by the way, at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. It was a winter storm against Ryder.
A blizzard.
It was a blizzard. It's pretty much what it was. Jaden Taylor did Jaden Taylor things, scoring 16 in 24 minutes. It wasn't even close. It was a good tune-up for Kevin Keats' squad as they also roll into ACC play. They open up against Virginia on New Year's Eve, and they have a tough Wake Forest assignment right after that. So good news. Again, we started out this by saying if you were a fan of a Carolina-based college, university, professional team, the ones we just spoke about, you should be happy today. You should be thrilled. And you will not be worried about the white elephant gift you got at work or the fact that the catering didn't come through and all that showed up was a couple of cold sandwiches and you still have to work today and tomorrow. A lot of us are out there. And I do want a hat tip to those of you who are rolling in retail right now or rolling in deliveries. The last couple of days, especially around here, have been chilly. You're seeing your breath for sure, and I have seen deliveries, and my Ring camera goes off at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, goodness gracious!
I know.
What are you doing?
Had to scrape the windshield this morning.
Had to scrape the windshield this morning.
That was kind of new.
An interesting sensation, right? Like the frost on your fingers,
right?
So
Jack Frost.
Yeah, no, I did that. I think I woke up my neighbors too. I have a longer ice scraper.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like.
Uh-huh. Yeah. See, I need that though. My short arms. Like I gotta have the reach. Like
I have the short arms too, so that's why I bought the longer one.
Yeah.
I can grip on one end and hold the other thing. It's got the little brush extension on
fancy.
it, so I can brush off the little.
If we ever get snow, maybe potentially.
I don't know when's that happening. We have affiliates in Asheville, right? Asheville. They get the snow. They know what I'm talking about. You get out the choppers, and then you got the big scraper with the brush.
Yep.
I still have a snow shovel. Like, I keep it in my car.
Yeah?
Just in case.
You never know. The one year that you get rid of it, it'll snow that year. And then you won't have it. You're out there with a bucket. Done it.
For those of you expecting Adam Gold, he's off. My name is Paul Lyhander, sitting in for Adam Gold. I've sat in a few times before. Hopefully you all stick around for the remainder of the hour and certainly throughout the entire program. Promise to keep it light and entertaining and give you a few things to think about as well. Victoria is here as always. All right, coming up next, Clemson and SMU setting up storylines that will remain unanswered until at least next fall. It's the Adam Gold Show here on a Monday.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Jordan Martin up to the rebound, and this line is delivering the presents around Christmas.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7:30. Puck drop at 8.
Aho sends it across. Robinson back to Aho. They score! Roll the highlight reel, Sebastian Aho. Merry Christmas.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel. They are America's #1 sports book. How do you get to be #1? All customers getting a 30% catch-a-pass profit boost on the Saints and Packers. That's how you get to be #1. That means you can boost your next NFL catch-a-pass bet by 30%. Take home even more winnings during the game. It is fantastic. You can bet on totals, spreads, player props, so much more. And you get paid instantly if you win. It says it right there in the upper right-hand corner. Don't wait. Download America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Take advantage of Profit Boost today. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold and win. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bobo Bow time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bowberry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bow-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bow time.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop. The all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This is Adam Gold.
Home runs are homers, not dingers, not jacks, not bombs. Can I use tater?
No. Can we say going yard?
Oh, yes.
Right?
If we can't exaggerate, if we can't use colorful, flowery metaphors and descriptions, why are we here?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show on this Monday. Paul Ihander in for Adam today. Victoria is here. I remember the first time I heard Dominic the Donkey. The first time. And I'm like, I have no clue what this is. I was like, what is this supposed to be? Dominic the Donkey.
I know. My cousin, he's an Army vet, for some reason, he loves this song. And I'd never heard it until he said, you should play Dominic the Donkey.
Okay.
This was years ago, a long time ago. And so I heard this. And I was like, what is this? It's hilarious. You can't hear this and not smile.
Dominic the Christmas Donkey. No, you cannot. You cannot hear this and not smile.
No.
I'm going to give you a reason not to smile, though. We've been smiling for the first portion of the show, Adam Gold Show here. And there is, unfortunately, what happened during the college football playoff first round over the weekend, and it was slightly entertaining football. I'm not going to say it blew me away, but because there were so many sports to watch over this past weekend, between college football, hockey, NFL football had both days, college hoops as we go into the break. There were so many things to catch up on that it was very difficult. Like I found myself on Sunday toggling between the Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes game just to be able to watch both. And I had Philadelphia, Washington on a separate screen watching that one, which turned out to be a really great game, unless you're an Eagles fan. It was kind of awful for you. But for Commanders, you're like, dude, Jaden Daniels is the rookie of the year. He throws so effortlessly, by the way. It's butter. And I'm not a big Daniels fan because of what he did against the Oregon Ducks a few seasons ago.
Oh, yes.
As a former Arizona State quarterback. But he deserves all the props and all the flowers, and I will certainly give it to him. As a professional, he has transcended and turned the Commanders into a legitimate threat, and I'm all for it. All for it. And I have family who are Eagles fans, and yesterday was a suffering day for them because not only did they lose their starting quarterback to a concussion, the backup quarterback has x-ray things going on, and it's all kind of messy. Anyway, let's come back home a little bit, shall we? Clemson and SMU played in their college football playoff games. The ACC teams, the two representatives of the ACC. SMU, the number 11 seed, who got in, so they were the last ones in, essentially, because they lost to Clemson in the championship game on the last-minute field goal. Clemson, the lowest-ranked conference champion, got in at number 12. Both teams got run on Saturday by a combined 76-34. The first game was in Happy Valley, Penn State. Cold, I get it. Maybe you're not ready to play. Maybe you're not ready to go, whatever it is. You turn the ball over early. Pick sixes ruin your day. It's what happens. And on a 4th and 1, a pick six ruined your day, and the day was over. Like SMU, the Mustangs, we joked just before the break, the saying is don't beat a dead horse, right? Penn State beat a dead horse. The SMU Mustangs were blah. It was blah. And then we were treated to a warmer weather game in which Clemson rolled down to Texas. And Texas did Texas things at home. See, the home field advantage is real. Like, the kids stayed on campus. The donors flew to campus. It was a full house. Burnt orange all over the place. Like, if you weren't a big fan of orange, that was not the game for you.
There's so much orange in that game.
Clemson got stopped on a late 4th down in which they were threatening once again. Klubnik was starting to get hot, and they got stopped on a 4th down, and that turned things around for Texas, and so Texas advances. So the two ACC schools who are trying to play up, trying to play in to the levels of the big dogs, right? I think we can all agree that when college football, and I hate saying it out loud, but I will because of where we're at, and I'm a realist. I'm an optimist, but I'm also real. The SEC and the Big Ten are the big dogs when it comes to college football right now. I don't think anybody out there would call that baby ugly by any means. Penn State, full destruction mode against SMU. SMU, Rhett Lashley said we didn't play up to our capabilities or how we got here. Clear, very clear. Clemson, same kind of deal, made it competitive, but truly Texas had the upper hand for the majority of that football game. Like, they had their way with the Tigers. And so for these teams to try to play up, they couldn't. And so this will be a storyline that will, unfortunately, and this is just based on a weekend of games, but it's the truth, and this is how it will get crafted, that the ACC isn't a team or isn't a conference for football, and there will be no way to shake that. And in the offseason, Commissioner Jim Phillips is going to have a large PR campaign to deal with on his hands. All the way up until the big media days that we all get together for in the middle of July, all the way up until the start of the season in August. And unfortunately, right until we see the first ACC team play, whoever it happens to be, whether SMU gets a chance to run it back, whether Clemson gets a chance to run it back, whether the new regime at Chapel Hill with Bill Belichick brings his championship team together and can take them into the CFP. Whatever it is, the storyline that the ACC cannot hang will unfortunately have to roll all the way until next December. And that will be something that will have to be answered and have to be promoted for by Jim Phillips. The fact that he stumped so hard for SMU to get in there, for Miami to be excluded, which, this is the debate, right? This is the debate we had with Florida State last year. It's the debate we would have with Miami this year, whether they deserve to be in. And you can hear it? The sounds of Lane Kiffin on social media saying they belonged and they wanted to belong, and the sounds of the general manager of Alabama saying, "Oh, this is a great game," laden with sarcasm. Sorry, dude, you didn't make it in. That's the whole debate right now. But the unfortunate part for the ACC, the All-Coast Conference, that's what I'm advocating the change to be for, the All-Coast Conference, the storyline will have to be the ACC is still looking for a first win in the college football playoff. Now, Arizona State could have the same thing, too, in the Big 12. Arizona State picked to finish pretty much dead last in that conference, wins the championship, and they go to play, who are they playing? They are playing Texas. They will play Texas in the Peach Bowl on January 1st. But that is something that could follow them at the same time. The group of four, not five anymore, four. We destroyed the Pac-12. Expansion, college football's new era, destroyed the Pac-12. It's a shame. I love the Pac-12. Grew up with the Pac-12. We all did, right? Pac-12 after dark. That's the bit. Now that we have legalized sports gambling within the state of North Carolina, that's the bit. We don't get a lot of those things. You got to bet on the Hawaiis and the UNLVs of the world, right? UNLV just picked up former Virginia quarterback Anthony Calandria over the weekend. So congrats to the Running Rebels and Dan, what's his face, the former Florida coach, Dan Mullen, who's the new UNLV coach. Congrats to him for picking up some ACC guys. See, but the ACC is going to have to do its due diligence. It's going to have to do its big PR push at this point. Jim Phillips will have to do the same kind of thing. He will have to lean into the fact that, no, we do belong. We do hang, and we can't roll into next year because it's going to sound disingenuous, because it's going to sound like, well, we deserve to be there because we need a second shot. And we need these teams to be there because they played the quality teams and they got all the wins, da-da-da. It will come across a little bit as whining and crying because, well, we need a chance to redeem ourselves. What if the ACC only gets one team in next year? And you hope that team is just a kick-ass dominant team, but what if it is only just one team? And that vicious cycle returns again. And you have to lean in, all in on that one team going, oh, please, baby, I'm just going to put my hands together and pray very quietly and whisper to myself wherever I'm sitting in the stands or in my bedroom or in front of my brand new 75-inch LCD TV that I got on Black Friday that I hung on the wall. And be like, please, ACC team, please get a win. I'm praying for you. I wish so we know and never have to hear again that we do not belong in the college football playoff, that we should never be excluded, and the quality teams, we should always have 2. But sometimes we should have 3, but never again 1. See, I don't want us to have to get to that point.
Right.
But it could. And the what ifs, and to avoid the whining. So there's a lot of work that has to be done in that conference office in Charlotte by Jim Phillips. They understand the assignment. There's no way around it, and they can go, God, this guy's full of garbage, and I don't believe the thing. But you cannot look past what happened on Saturday and not be ready to face those questions moving forward. You can defend and defend and defend, but what matters is the results on the field. And I can tell you what, they are smiling in Happy Valley, and they are saying howdy and yeehaw in Austin, Texas. And that is not something to be taken lightly for sure. All right, friends, coming up next here on the Adam Gold Show, Paul Lyhander in for Adam today. Some rapid-fire thoughts ahead of Santa's next visit. One-timers up next on the Adam Gold Show.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we are closing in just a few weeks away from the NFL playoffs, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong. Run through the tape. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins, so pick an easy one. FanDuel has so many ways for you to win. So, FanDuel.com/AGS. Join today. This way, you'll be ready when the playoffs roll around. FanDuel.com/AGS. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Children across North Carolina are struggling with high rates of anxiety and depression, and our schools and communities don't have enough resources to support our kids' mental health. But at NC Child, we are advocating for policies that address the youth mental health crisis and set our children up for a lifetime of success. Learn more about how we are creating a North Carolina where every child can thrive at ncchild.org. That's ncchild.org. NC Child, the voice for North Carolina's children.
Hey, my name's Kate Roper, and I live in Leicester, North Carolina. In September of 2023, I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It was just such a relief knowing that now that I'm covered by NC Medicaid, I don't have to worry about how I'm gonna pay for medical treatment now. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
A crisis moment is any moment where you feel overwhelmed and as if you aren't able alone to handle what's happening. You don't have to be alone with that feeling. And when that feeling comes is exactly when you should reach out, you should get connected, and you should be in community. We care, we listen, we help. Call, text, or chat 988 anytime.
Call, text, or chat 988-24/7.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
When I found out I had postpartum depression, I realized caring for my son starts with caring for me.
Mental health care is working for Simone. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
This is Adam Gold.
Georgia needs Alabama to beat LSU right now. And Georgia fans are beside themselves thinking that they have to root for Alabama for anything. So, I mean, it's messy everywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
Well, that is a bop, isn't it?
Right?
Adam Gold Show today. Paul Eihander in for Adam today. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday, just 48 hours ahead of Santa's big visit. Victoria is here as always, which is good news for those of you who are big fans of Victoria and consistency. It's the one thing about this show. If Victoria's not here, it's not consistent. We just go completely off the rails. Like when I'm here, I'm like, Victoria, where are we going now?
What do we do? That's fine. I got you.
What's happening?
Always.
What's happening? So, lots of good stuff. We're going to talk Panthers here in a hot second. Big win for them, 36-30, and over the Arizona Cardinals, and something that you'll be able to bank on, something you can totally guarantee on. We'll talk about that in the next hour of this program if y'all decide to stick around. If you got other things to do, that's okay. You can always run it back, Adam Gold Show, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Just make sure you like and subscribe. Also, because the Adam Gold Show is based in Raleigh at 99.9 The Fan, there's a YouTube page for 99.9 The Fan, and you can also listen to the podcast there by just checking out the Adam Gold Show. Mm-hmm. All right, I believe it's time for one timer.
Dramatic music. I always love it. So it's very heavy into the football, college
heavy into the football.
And pro. So
Okay.
changing up. Starting up, though, we do have the Saints and Packers game tonight.
Saints and Packers.
So the Saints are eliminated. The Packers are in the hunt.
Shocker, the Saints are eliminated.
Yeah. Even though the NFC South, this division, it's just Falcons, Bucks, back and forth.
Panthers
back and
have
forth.
company. The
They do.
Panthers have company with the Saints. All right.
They do. So, with this game, it's in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. They're not in the dome. So, how do you see this game going?
No, a monster cover. A monster cover. I believe the number's like 14 and a half for the Green Bay Packers. Not inside, outdoors. South Carolina's Spencer Rattler, former South Carolina, will now be getting the start for the Saints, which is good news. I like Spencer Rattler's game.
Yeah?
I really do. Amazingly enough, I've got a story for everything, by the way.
Oh, I love it.
Spencer Rattler, I remember when he was just a young pup quarterback out in Arizona being recruited by all these big teams. I watched him as a freshman in high school.
Oh, nice.
Like he warmed up in a field about 3 blocks from my house. That is not a joke.
Wow.
I lived near his high school, too, and I'd see him out there just running routes with rando other kids or whatnot, just playing ball, but you knew who he was.
Yeah.
He could uncork it like nobody's business.
Yeah.
While that being said, he is now a professional athlete on an NFL team that is not very good. And so the Green Bay Packers at home, I think they cover big time. I think there is I think there'll be a plenty of Aaron Jones sightings during this football game. And unfortunate for my fantasy team in terms of the playoffs, Jalen Reed and Tucker Kraft are probably going to get their just desserts. Maybe even a Romeo Dobbs sighting as well for the Packers. I don't see this one being close at all, Victoria.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. Also on the fantasy football side.
I know. Just close your eyes and grit your teeth.
I know. I can't check the app. I just got to stay off the app. Now, one thing that I know people were gritting their teeth for, Panther fans. Some are happy about the win. Me. Others were thinking that they should continue to tank for the draft pick. If you were a Panther fan, how would you feel about this win?
Get your wins.
Yes.
Get your wins. No. You have suffered long enough. You were in the midst of a 4-game losing streak going into Sunday against Arizona. And coming out of that, you get all the good vibes. You got so many feel-good angles. Chuba Hubbard. Run. Earned every dollar of that brand new contract because I think he was feeling the weight of that deal, which is why he was struggling a bit. And granted, in the last game, the offensive line had happy feet. I mean, it felt like they were on ice constantly. But enjoy the win. There has to be something beyond just tanking for draft picks to get you motivated to play as a football team. There's not one person in that locker room. I don't think I get it. I totally get it because you want the team to improve, and the way to do that is with the hottest, youngest star player available to you. But I'm not sure in the 2025 NFL draft that there is going to be a game changer or difference maker because of where you pick right now, and you have the 7th pick. It's not even a top 5 pick. You have pick 7. Go get yourself a big, beefy edge rusher, or go get yourself another happy playmaker on the offensive line where you know that they might be able to get something going. Now, we all learned our lesson, Carolina Panthers fans, with Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson is now not in the NFL.
Right.
He was released by the Baltimore Ravens. We learned our lesson well. Jonathan Brooks got hurt again. I think Dan Morgan learned his lesson with that pick as well, and that might be something that bites them in the booty coming soon. But for a win, a 36-30 overtime win, I would be pleased. Not only for a win for your football team, but the steps that the team took to get there. Closing out games late, we hadn't seen it done. That was a big one. That was we're not going to trot out for a field goal. We're going to carry this bad boy to the end zone, and we are going to celebrate like nobody's business and sing Sweet Caroline at the top of our lungs. Take the wins. Nobody roots for losses and tanking unless right now you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan.
Yes, very true. And I feel like that win was just good for everyone's mentality.
Yeah,
fans,
big deep
players,
big deep breath.
all
Just
of it.
Let it all out. We can purge all the bad juju, open up the doors, let all the fresh air in.
Right before Christmas. It was an early Christmas gift.
It was. It's a wonderful gift. And that's, again, it feels so much to be talking better, but to be talking about a win than to be griping about a loss.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was another close one. Should have won.
Yeah.
Oh,
almost had it. This one thing could happen.
Yep.
Oh, he dropped the ball. Oh, the false start penalties hurt us. You have to worry about that noise.
Nope.
You have to worry about the noise. We do need to stop the run, though. We got to stop the run.
Oh, yeah,
though.
big time.
James Conner, dude. That guy's like 85 years old in NFL years. He had 117
it's like dog
yards
years
rushing.
for football.
Yeah, dog years for football. Like, James Conner's been in the league forever. Like, damn, James Conner. That's right. He plays for the Cardinals.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another team that did struggle that I don't think a lot of people thought were going to struggle yesterday. The Buffalo Bills against the New England Patriots. It took them a second. Patriots came out and scored 14 points, and they had no response until later in the game. So, with that game, was there anything that maybe stuck out to you as to what could have been the struggle for the Bills? Did they just underestimate Drake May and company?
So, Buffalo and New England are a rivalry. That is like one of those rivalries that just kind of rears its ugly head every once in a while. You're like, oh, that's right. Those two teams do play each other pretty tough. I will tell you, Victoria, how well do you operate in 8-degree weather as a human being?
I try not to.
Yeah, right. In that game, it was 8 degrees. It was 6. It was 6 at the end of that thing. And we talk about the feels like temperature. That's not even a real thing. You're just like, what's the temperature? It's 6. But it feels like -5. Mm-hmm. You're like, come on. Yeah. Come on. We all learned that Josh Allen was playing with like a broken hand at the start of the season and whatnot. MVP year. Some of the guys couldn't get going. I mean, James Cook did what he does, and Dalton Kincaid. That's the Houston Texans tight end. Whatever. You can only do so much. And Drake May, if he hadn't had that backward pass fumbled towards the late of that game, we might be talking about a different story. The Bills were minus 1,000. Yes. Minus 1,000 on the money line to take that one. And you're allowed clunkers. And Allen wasn't that great yesterday either. But they did enough to win against a relatively bad football team. Drake May made some good plays. Like, the dude can run. He can throw he doesn't have the talent. We talk about teams that don't have the talent. That team does not have the talent by any means necessary. And so for the Bills to struggle, yeah, you get one, right? Spider-Man says everybody gets one. This was the Bills game that kind of went thud on them. But I would take the win if I were them too. I mean, they played well enough to win. They didn't do too many crazy. Again, how well do you operate when it's -8? How well do you operate when it's -8?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Cars don't even want to operate when it's
that
cold.
No, my car goes. I got 175,000 miles on my car. Man, my thing doesn't want to start. My battery, my headlights flash when I try to use the automatic windows in the rear.
Yes.
Like they barely work.
Yeah, that's it being sassy saying, no, not today.
That's the truth.
Well, last but not least, speaking of some quarterbacks who are having some injuries. So Mahomes, he's a little banged up. Josh Allen, he's a little banged up, and now Jalen Hurts is banged up. So these are all three teams that people can see going to the Super Bowl and potentially winning. Which team do you see overcoming these injuries and actually making it?
It's going to bite me in the butt. Philadelphia. Philadelphia still has all the talent. They have all the offensive talent, defensive talent. They're just clicking at the right times. Concussion, they're already in the playoffs. They don't need to worry about that noise whatsoever. Philadelphia. A near guarantee we can have for the Panthers as they close out the season. Coming up next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk. Panthers Playbook. The Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
And the Panthers win in overtime. 21-yard run by Chuba Hubbard. Sweet Caroline one more time in 2024.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hi, my name is Lance Corporal Tucker with VMFA 312, out here deployed in Iwakuni, Japan. Just wanted to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody back home. Hope you guys are staying warm and safe out there.
Hi guys, my name is Staff Sergeant Brianna Harris. I'm coming from the Allied Forces South Battalion in Naples, Italy. I just want to give a shout out to my family. Merry Christmas.
Edwards Inc., standing tall and proudly saluting all who have served and those who continue to serve this holiday season.
Gift an icon this holiday season, the Omega Speedmaster, known as the Moonwatch. This legendary timepiece made history as the only watch selected by NASA to withstand the extreme environment of space and was worn by the legendary astronauts on the first journey to the moon. With its timeless design and unmatched durability, the Omega Speedmaster continues to inspire adventure seekers worldwide. Find your perfect Speedmaster at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler. Learn more at baileybox.com.
Kudos, Carl. You've always had a need for speed. Racing anything with wheels, yelling out 3, 2, 1 at every traffic light. But this time, you've taken your power obsession to the next level. By purchasing this electric vehicle, you've given yourself instant torque that blows your old launch times away, which will keep you saying, "Woo-wee," every time you punch the pedal. Good for your adrenaline, great for the planet. That's the power of EV. Sponsored by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The family media plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Fabric Talk.
Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The give to Hubbard over the right side. Breaks a tackle. 10, 5, high step. Touchdown, Chuba Hubbard. And the Panthers win in overtime. A game-winning 21-yard run by Chuba Hubbard. Sweet Caroline, one more time in 2024.
Ba, ba, ba. It is the Adam Gold Show on a Monday. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Thanks for coming along for the ride, everybody. Adam's off, hanging out with family and friends and taking care of those holiday things. Victoria is here, though, which is great to have Victoria on the other side of the glass, making things sound nice. We promise to be entertaining today. I promise to be entertaining. And I know for those of you joining us on the network for the first time, apparently somebody out there knows for my dislike of Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, really?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, if you listen to the music, and I have found a few people that have converted with me on Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a Scrooge.
Right.
I love holiday music. I play at my house every day around this time of year. It gets me in the mood. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Exactly. But Trans-Siberian Orchestra, having just visited Disney World a couple of weeks ago with my kids, sounds like the stuff that you would listen to if you're walking between like rides and pavilions. Just think about it just for a hot second. If you ever have visited like a theme park and you listen to kind of the background music every once in a while, you find yourself with a kind of a quiet moment, which I know are rare in settings like that. But that's the kind of music, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, is the stuff that you'd hear in the background as you're going through like perhaps like a technology conference or something.
Right.
Oh, look, the new Linux software. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, is that new AI?
Laser beam.
Yeah, right. Laser beam. That's what that stuff sounds like. And it's just, it doesn't drive me nuts. Wait, it does.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
That's okay. I could see. I mean,
Right.
I get it. It's not for everyone, for sure.
Well, no, and there are a lot of holiday songs. And I know I promise to talk about the Panthers here for those of you joining us for another hour of the Adam Gold Show. But there are those songs around this time of year that you're just like, meh.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I think I've heard that more than enough. It's the, and I'm going to offend a lot of people by saying it, the Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah.
There are those of you who like comic books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've all heard of the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that there is a universe out there somewhere where Mariah Carey is sitting around thinking to herself, God, I wish Paul would stop singing All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Right.
That is just driving her nuts with me going, all I want for Christmas is you. And it's just me
Right.
singing it over and over and over
On
again.
a loop.
Yeah. And Mariah Carey is thinking the same thing. She's like, really?
Again?
Yeah, again.
Really? We're back here?
And don't get me started on Christmas shoes.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, if you want to cry.
That is the least Christmassy holiday songs in the history of holiday songs.
I know. I'm telling you what, though. Mariah Carey, I think Kelly Clarkson is having a run for her money when it comes to Christmas queens because Kelly, she's throwing out some bangers there, Christmas bangers.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually play one because I have, of course, my bump list already prepared for.
Well, if we're gonna lean in, okay, that's fine. Lean in. I just,
that'll be my next one.
Somewhere out there, Mariah Carey's like, God, I wish Paul would just quit singing that song. Quit singing the song.
There he is with that Trans-Siberian Orchestra stuff, too.
Yeah. Ooh, laser beams. Yeah. All right, let's run it back here. Some Carolina Panthers talk in our little Take Two segment here. And Carolina Panthers closing out the season, 2 games remaining. Both will be on the road, so Bank of America Stadium's next true action, I believe, is the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which is after the first of the year, and some practices in between and whatnot. But really, the action is done when it comes to the NFL for 2024. And the Panthers have Tampa and Atlanta still remaining on the schedule. So the Panthers can be complete spoilers whatsoever. But head coach Dave Canales believes it's got to be part of their brand of football, and he believes the example of Panthers football happened on Sunday.
All right. Panthers football. Don't turn the ball over. We got 2 from them. Cleaned up some of our special teams penalties, but we had some other that kind of happened throughout the course of the game. But we talk about finish, and finding a way to finish, do right longer, and the defense found a way in that overtime, to have a couple of balls knocked down, a sack, some big things right there. And then the offense, of course, just finishing it the way we want to. Being able to run the ball with toughness right there. We're in a great situation for a field goal. And Chuba ends up breaking a few tackles and scoring right there. So it was a great thing to celebrate with the guys and just to reemphasize, playing football right, doing right longer is the way we finish. And so was really happy about that.
And it's very clear, Dave Canales, and I'm looking right at you. It's very clear, Dave, that you are a master of spin. In the overtime, yes, your defense got big stops. Yes, your multi-million-dollar running back broke a ton of tackles and took you into the promised land. You have spun that wildly. That is Panthers football. But what you have omitted was the fact that your defense gave up 30 up until that point. What you have spun out of the conversation is that while your defense got stops in the run game, the guy that was tearing you the you-know-what, the new one, James Conner, was hurt and had 117 yards leading up to that. What you left out was Bryce Young missing on a clean, easy pass right around that 2-minute warning in that fourth quarter, in which you are not thinking about a 30-30 tie. You are thinking about walking that off in regulation. It was an example of Panthers football in the overtime. But leading up to that, I have some concerns. I have some concerns about defense making some stops. Playing the brand of Panthers football, which is run heavy. Run heavy and manage the game through your quarterback, Bryce Young. Run heavy, but you gave up 30. Being a run heavy football team, and nowhere have you said the word "we need to be balanced." We'll run back the tape for weeks and weeks and weeks. We need to have a balanced attack. I'm not sure if I've ever heard that. A run-controlled offense does not score 30 points. 36 yesterday happened in an overtime. The last time you Panthers pulled a 36, and again, this is me kind of pooping all over a win, but I'm trying not to, but I want to be real because he spun it. And I want to tell you truth. The last time this team scored 36 was in a win against the Raiders in regulation where Andy Dalton was the quarterback. This is not a Bryce Young versus Andy Dalton conversation. I'm not having that one anymore. Bryce Young is your quarterback. But tell complete truth when it comes to your team. It was an example of Panthers football the way you wanted it in the overtime period. Leading up to that, you got a lot of questions. Some decisions were made. You were up 20-3. And at halftime, it was only a 3-point margin. You let Arizona play it around. You played with your food a little bit, and you broke out at the end, which is congratulations to you. But you need to do just a teeny bit better when it comes to execution. Now that I pooped all over the W, Victoria.
It's okay. Sometimes Dave Canales likes to be an optimistic bully.
He is.
He sugarcoats it.
You're right. There's an optimistic bully in Dave Canales. Bryce Young talked about how this team has certainly grown together. 4-game losing streak will do that to you.
I think it's just us coming into our own. Being able to start to establish an identity. Understand what the brand of football that we need to play is. What Coach brought here, and getting more reps at that, more opportunity. Us being able to grow together. To establish that, have that belief within ourselves. I think that. It's something that's definitely grown throughout the year and something we have to continue to keep building on.
They will grow together as long as this team can stay healthy. As long as they stay healthy, this team can grow together. Jatavian Sanders can stay on the field and make plays and be the athletic guy that he is. Adam Thielen can will himself out of every bed, hop into that cryo chamber, cold tub, whatever it takes to be, and be that leading receiver every week. I am happy with that. Jalen Coker can stretch the field. Zay Leggett will continue working on that jugs machine, and we'll get a few more touches. By the way, Brad Idzik, jet sweep. Xavier Leggett is a bull in a china shop. Let him be the bull in the china shop. I guarantee you employ him like Xavier Worthy in Kansas City, you'll get those similar results. He'll just roll guys over. He won't have any problem doing it. He's a big dude. He can hold on to the football, I promise you. He'll put in the work for you. Everything we were told about Zay Leggett should still be true about Zay Leggett. He's going to be a guy. He's going to be a horse. He's going to be the dude for you. Get him the ball. Get him some touches. That's all I hit. Because Chuba can't do it all himself. Chuba cannot do it all himself. But I'm nitpicking, right? I'm nitpicking in a 36-30 overtime win. Ends a 4-game losing streak. Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. Victoria is here as well. Here's the near guarantee we can have for the Panthers as they close out the season. And this is a good thing, Panthers fans. A very good thing. Here we go. Get myself ready. For the first time in several years, the Carolina Panthers cannot trade away the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
What?
Because they won't have it.
Right?
They won't have it, and that is a good thing. The New York Giants have the number 1 pick because they are that bad. And the Panthers last year were that bad. And they turned over that pick, and we all know the story. And the Chicago Bears have squandered the gift that the Panthers gave them in the prior regime. Dan Morgan cannot miss on this one. He cannot trade away the first pick in the NFL draft because he doesn't have it. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't acquire it, which is why I say a near guarantee. But currently they have the 7th pick, which means they are not the worst team in the NFL. They are not a bottom dweller by any means. They have 4 victories. And I know there are fans of other fan bases listening to this program right now that are like, you're talking about a 4-win football team. A 4-win football team. My team's got 10. My team's got 12. My team's they were in the playoffs in September. That's how good we were. I get it. I get all of that. But now put yourself in your friend's shoes, who has been a Panther fan since how long, Victoria?
95.
95.
All the way to 95.
95. You know what the only thing the Panthers fans were looking forward to before this season started? Cam Newton on the Fox television show Special Forces.
Right, with his hats.
With his hats. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing Panthers fans were hanging on to. Now, you can go, we've doubled up our win total from last season. We do not have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft in what is considered not the strongest of NFL drafts. So you're not having that discussion. You're having the talk about we cannot make this mistake again and we cannot find ourselves. The good news is, with a pick that is number 7 and can improve, you still have 2 games remaining. And I say improve in terms of spot. I'm not saying drop down to 3 or 2 or 1. You can't go there. You don't want to be there. You can move yourself into the earlier first round, say 10, say 12, because you still have that opportunity. What this tells you about your football team, what this says loud and clear, is that you have already hit rock bottom. You've been there. You cannot drop any further. You have suffered through the end of the ceremonial unend of a bad ending with Steve Wilkes, right? Steve Wilkes thought was going to be the guy. Not the guy. Frank Reich. Let's bring in Frank Reich. No. Matt Rule. No. We have Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. And you have already hit rock bottom. You can confidently say that the rock bottom is over. There is nowhere else to go but up. And that should be good news for you as a Carolina Panthers football team. And it gets just a shade better. And again, there are people out there, Victoria, Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold today. There are people out there going, damn, he's talking about a 4-win football team.
Right. Which is double what we had last season. So it's progress.
4-win football team.
It's progress.
And not even the 7-10 of a couple of seasons ago. 7-9, right? Where you were talking about, we might make the playoffs.
Tell you what, I feel better about Dan Morgan, though. I do feel better about him.
How
because
so? Why?
I like his mentality. I like that he is a football guy, like an actual football guy, not a Madden. I used to play Madden football guy, David Tepper. I think he's an actual football guy. Doesn't hurt that he also is a former Panthers star, but I think his mentality, the way he grinds, he wants to do the ground and pound like we've been doing. I love that. He's got it. He knows where we're going, where we should be.
Double nickels, Dan Morgan.
I know. Just got to make sure the boss man stays out.
Well, listen, someone has to be the buffer.
Yeah.
And credit to him for scooping up Jacoby Windman off the waiver wire, off the practice squad. Jacoby Windman, former UNLV guy, former Michigan State guy. Guy's a baller. I've seen him play in person many times out in the West Coast. He can go. So, Kobe, got you, man. I'm your guy. I believe in you. Hopefully you can stick with this team. But coming back to where the Panthers are right now, there is still a little bit of more good news. You sent Arizona home for the holidays. They're done. There is no postseason for Arizona. You now control the fate of the NFC South. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons to close out your season. You can ensure that the NFL, and boy, you get to screw the NFL too, you get to control the fates of both of those teams to leading them right up until the end of the season to figure out if they should be booking their plans for vacation or booking their plans for a home game. That's the bit. That's the bit. And the Carolina Panthers have that control. And that's not a bad place to be because they were not thinking about this last year at all. It was about, can we get through it unscathed? And I know we don't have any picks, but let's see what we can do. And you all know the rest of the story. Again, dude's talking about a 4-win football team.
Yeah. It's great, though. We're all smiling.
Today is a day of bringing some joy, right?
We should be happy about this.
Right. I'm not trying to find all the dog poop underneath the leaves that haven't been raked in the park.
You're just staying real.
I'm a real guy.
Right?
I'm a real person. I don't want to lie to you. I tell my kids that. Mm-hmm. I will never lie to you. I won't even stretch the truth with them. There are some things that I will omit, much like Dave Canales,
right.
But I will never tell them a lie.
Look at this shiny object over there.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I know you guys are listening, by the way. Love you guys. All right, Adam Gold Show here on this Monday. Coming up next, how Carolina Hurricane fans can make meter with their goalie situation. That's intentional. It's the Adam Gold Show on a Monday.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Jordan Martin up to the rebound, and this line is delivering the presents around Christmas.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7:30. Puck drop at 8.
Aho sends it across. Robinson back to Aho. They score! Roll the highlight reel, Sebastian Aho. Merry Christmas.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's right, #1. And right now, new customers can finish the NFL season strong. Fuerte. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's right, $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. FanDuel, many ways for you to pick up that dub. So, FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Join today. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Playoffs are coming. This way you'll be set for the biggest games of the year with a little extra in the bank, don't you know? 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Did you know that Bailey's Fine Jewelry has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for luxury designers, fine diamonds, and watches, but we also have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts under $500. We're celebrating making holiday gifting easy since 1948. You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
We know you have a lot on your holiday to-do list. And at the UPS store, we're here to help. With our pack and ship guarantee, your gifts will arrive intact or you'll be reimbursed. Got holiday cards to print? We're also the premier printing store. We've got everything you need for every way you holiday. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Like, heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's hard not to smile when you hear Christmas music, but when you hear certain songs over and over and over again, you kind of go, okay, what else have I got here in the old arsenal? Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. It is the Adam Gold Show on this Monday. Thanks for making us a part of your routine. Adam will be off for a bit, although if you do listen to Hurricanes games, as the Hurricanes still play during the holiday break, Adam will be part of those broadcasts, certainly for those of you who listen to the Hurricanes radio network, as I do on occasion. Victoria is here as well, and I'm about ready to go full digital gift card on everybody at this point.
Nice.
No, I went out last night to do a little bit of last-minute Christmas budgeting.
Right.
Okay, so it's not even shopping; it's budgeting about what I've got available still in the tank, and I'm a big fan of like the extra discounts for next year. I stock up on the Christmas lights.
Yeah, I know. It's smart.
The ribbons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of 50s and 75% offs I found.
It's time to get it.
Yeah, I was very happy, but I think a lot of that stuff is gone today.
Yes.
Just put it out there based on the amount of people that were roaming around last night in their vehicles and enjoying whatnot. By the way, hat tip to those of you who are working retail this time of year, delivering packages, and then on nights like last night and the next few nights, for those of you who are working in the restaurant industry, hospitality, man, you get put through the ringer. Like, you are just constantly dealing with people that are either in really great moods,
yes,
or are just wringing their hands constantly because it's not the perfect whatever.
The opposite.
Like, I just got told today I've got family coming into town on Friday and Saturday. Was not expecting them.
Oh, no.
At all. At all. I got a text prior to the show going, hey, coming down Friday and Saturday.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, all right, well, guess who's not sleeping for the next 3 nights getting the house clean?
I know. That's the problem. You got to clean the house when you have visitors more than you maybe would.
The holidays vomited all over my house. And I love this time of year.
Me too.
My kids love this time of year. I know a lot of people do in the off spaces and whatnot. Some of you just want to get through it, though, right? I mean, it's a tough time of year for some folks. This time of year reminds you of good things that you may have had in the past and no longer have. Before we talk about the Carolina Hurricanes, I just want to take a moment to let you know you are not alone this time of year. It's okay to say you're not okay. Reach out to a friend. Check on your neighbors, check on your family. And for those of you who haven't talked to someone in quite a while, and sometimes this ends up being New Year's resolution for some folks, but I always think because this time of year can be a little tough for a lot of folks, reach out to someone you haven't reached out to in a while. They will either not appreciate it or they will love the fact that you decided to pick up a phone or video call them or whatever it is, and be forgiving. Be forgiving of the situation, whatever they find themselves in. If they're harried and they've got flour all over the face because they just got done baking 1,000 cookies for the neighbors in the church social, or they just don't look the way you remember them or act the way you remember them, it's okay to be forgiving of that. Be forgiving of them. Be forgiving of yourself. And if it just doesn't go the way you had expected it to, happy, wine, roses, optimistic, whatever it is, you made some efforts, and be okay with that. But be okay saying it's not okay, and be okay saying it is okay at the same time. And you're not alone this time of year, I promise you. It is why we are here right now. It is why we are trying to kind of dig in a little at ourselves and dig in with you about a lot of things, because this was a very happy weekend.
Yeah.
For a lot of sports fans, for a lot of people who root on the Carolina teams, this was a very good weekend. The Rangers out quite a bit. And this is where I want you to be a little bit, and I use the word meter, how you can make meter with the goalie situation. Meter is the Russian word for peace.
Oh, it sounded fancy.
And so how you can make meter with the goalie situation is the fact that Pyotr Kochetkov, head coach Rod Brindamore, has been very, very pleased with his play as of late. As a matter of fact, he talked about it yesterday after the 3-1 win over Sunday, over the 3-1 win against the New York Rangers.
Oh, well, he was good. I mean, it's a tough start, right? We give up a weird one right off the bat where they made a nice play, and but then after that, he was solid. And he made, I don't know how many, but a lot of good backdoor plays, especially on the power play for them. They had a few good looks, and he was great for us.
The Carolina Hurricanes put out a statistic yesterday, and it wasn't just about goal play, and we'll talk about that in a hot second. Pyotr Kochetkov had 2 points yesterday, 2 assists in yesterday's game. He's the second goaltender in franchise history to do that. And you can think about all the goalies that have come in between 1989, which is the last time it happened, and 2024. Like the litany. You have Stanley Cup goalies. You have goalies who are now on TV commentating. You have goalies that are starring for other teams. Pyotr Kochetkov finds himself in rare air. And Pyotr Kochetkov, and Rod Brindamore gives him the credit, and Rod Brindamore will be the first guy to let you know that Pyotr Kochetkov needs to either tone it down, loosen up, or get his head screwed on right.
Yeah, stay in net. Put a leash on him.
And Pyotr Kochetkov is still able to play, and maybe he's found the sweet spot in the last few games where he's able to play aggressive, but also still manage to stay near the crease, where he's not too far out. And he had a couple of really nice plays yesterday in some tight situations. And certainly at the beginning of that hockey game where the Rangers, where Jimmy Vesey scored in the first 17 seconds. That beginning of that game, say the first 4 to 6 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer, but that's all that I can remember because it felt like a blur. The Rangers kept control of the puck, and they kept firing at Kochetkov. And Kochetkov didn't let that first goal faze him at all. And he managed to save 30 more shots. And 30 more shots against the likes of Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck are not easy shots to stop. Those are goal creators. And he managed to do it. And he made it happen. And so when he is able to play in control and able to play solid goal, you're going to get efforts out of that. Now, does it feel like the jury's out? I think if you ask a few people, the jury might still be out on whether he's a true number one goalie. But if Pyotr Kochetkov continues to play the way he's been playing, and again, we're not sure who's going to, I don't think he'll go tonight. It'll probably be Dustin Tokarski. If Pyotr Kochetkov can play this kind of solid goaltending and be above that 90% save percentage, then the Carolina Hurricanes won't have anything to fear whatsoever. I'll remind you of this as well. And this is where you need to be meaner about the goalie situation. And not just with Kochetkov because he's Russian, and I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. They started Spencer Martin. Spencer Martin was the stopgap, right? Spencer Martin now back in Chicago. Freddie Anderson, not sure when he's going to come back. Dustin Tokarski is the next man up. Next goalie up, so to speak. Probably going to get the start tonight back-to-backs, but he turned in a first good, solid performance for them. And then Yaniv Peretz also had to do some business because just no one was healthy and we had a back-to-back. The Carolina Hurricanes, drum roll please, as they said in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, drum roll, have now employed 5 goalies this season. 5 goalies as they still find themselves 21, 11, and 1. I don't want to get too buried in statistics, but what I can tell you is that this team has 21 wins while employing 5 goalies in a season. There are teams, much like the team they're going to face tonight in the Nashville Predators, who would kill to have that kind of a win total at this point in the season. The Predators are awful. They are not a good hockey team, but they have a goalie who's saving at the same rate as Pyotr Kochetkov. If you might recall and run into the Wayback Machine here, hop into the DeLorean, UC Saros signed a long-term extension with the Nashville Predators. He was kind of like one of the hottest goaltending guys out there when it came to free agents and whatnot. They signed him long-term to where apparently the Hurricanes were interested. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. We probably will never know until someone writes the book for it. But his save percentage is 0.21 thousandths. 0.21 thousandths better than Pyotr Kochetkov. That is it. It's a good goalie on a bad team. Pyotr Kochetkov, if you pair that up with UC Saros' numbers, is a good goalie on a good team. Carolina Hurricanes aren't great. They're not great. Do not get me do not put that word in my mouth. That's not a great hockey team. They're looking up at a cup. They're looking up. And the egg that they laid against Washington was not good. Marty Necas has been clamped down by NHL defenses. They have figured him out so much. Jack Roslovic stepped up, got a goal yesterday, power play goal, fantastic, towards the end of a 4-minute power play, which was all good in itself. And Sebastian Aho's goal on Sunday was an empty netter. Didn't mean a lot. Meant a lot for statistical padding, but Igor Shesterkin, while the Carolina Hurricanes have figured him out, Shesterkin is still a tough out. They still have to figure out how to screen him, figure out how to take advantage of opportunities. But it looks like the Carolina Hurricanes have settled in. I'm concerned that we're spending so much time about goaltending that we aren't talking about the real things that are happening with the Hurricanes. That Marty Necas' hot start has kind of come to a slow, grinding slowdown here. That Jesper Kotkaniemi is now on the side of milk cartons. Like he has gone missing. In the last 30 days, he has 2 goals. And I believe 1 assist. He's the center. With Jack Drury hurt, Victoria. With Jack Drury hurt, this should be the time for Jesper Kotkaniemi to step up and seize the day.
I feel like we've been asking him to step up now for so long.
Right. It feels like that skipping record. Jesper Kotkaniemi, step up. Jesper Kotkaniemi, please step up.
It's your time.
It's your time. It's your time. You are a professional ice hockey center that was drafted 3rd overall. I'm not sure changes of scenery changes that, but it's clear lineup changes and injuries haven't changed a lot of things for him. Maybe he's pressing. I don't know. I'm sure everybody in that locker room will stand next to him and they will punch me in the face. Paul, you shut up. Bam. Paul, you shut up about KK. Bam. Paul, you shut up about KK. Bam. They will all stand side by him. But in this case, and I'm not a huge fan of rolling out tons and tons and tons of Ken Palms and natural stat tricks and all that kind of stuff, the stats don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
The production's not there.
Yeah, problem is you're not wrong. They may not like it, but you're not wrong.
I ask folks to call the baby ugly all the time. When it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes, that is the ugly baby. And to speak it into existence, it feels like it's almost like taboo. It's almost like, no, you're not supposed to say that. It's the team. It's to be critical of players because there is no production. That is not me going, I'm gonna blah, 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 blah. No, that is me just calling truth. That is calling truth. Imagine if there was more production. You would not be having discussions about, well, you need to trade for more goalies, or there's too many minutes on the ice for Jalen Chatfield. And by the way, that dude must be icing like every night in ice baths that are sub-zero because he plays like 21, 22 minutes a night, like with the toughest assignments. Him and Orloff, man, these guys are crazy. They're stepping
Crazy
up.
Cardio. Woo.
Yeah, no
They
kidding.
Can eat whatever they want.
Right, he's in one of those like high altitude cardio things, just running as fast as he can. What are you having for dinner tonight, honey? His fiance was in our building a couple weeks ago. I could just imagine that conversation. What are you gonna have? Half a cow.
Everything. All of it.
Right.
Just
all of it. What do you want? All of it.
all of it.
Don't care. Is sushi on sale? Doesn't matter. I want all of it. Buy 8 trays.
Right?
I just need to fuel.
It's not going to go to waste.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold. That is Victoria on this Monday. I do want to talk some college basketball here. The ACC finds itself in a unique situation, much like the Pac-12 did a couple seasons ago, where stronger teams would rarely ever come out of conference outside of the top teams. You would have less parity, and you would have like the Arizonas, right? Arizona's the world. Arizona was always a top 10 basketball team. Oregon would find itself in that conversation from time to time. Those were kind of the big guys. Washington, so to speak. UCLA, a big team. ACC finds itself in that same kind of situation right now, still trying to sort itself out in terms of a team that's going to pull away. Now, Duke is doing its role. Duke is trying to stretch this thing out big time. They have signature wins. They got a blast out of Georgia Tech over the weekend. It was close through halftime, and then they just kind of shot their way and played a lot of defense so much. Now, John Shire, in terms of offensive production against Georgia Tech, really the Duke Blue Devils had their way. And Shire talked about that structure of the offense, which led to double-digit scoring by 4 players.
I just thought the shot quality was a lot better, and it's probably the best that we've flowed, just going from defense to offense. I thought we did a really good job refining each other's strengths and understanding just how to play together. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and then we've done a much better job. Thought we really executed today in the half court. We got what we wanted. The ball, again, it was simple in the second half because we just kept going, middle pick and roll with these two guys. But we have really good shooting to get him off some staggers and screens. Isaiah, just to get some more movement, I think was a big thing for us, and understanding what we're doing at a higher level.
There's some acceptance on this Duke basketball team of roles. Like, if I want you to play defense, you're going to play defense. Cooper Flagg has been the name that has been shot out of the cannon. Everywhere, just spray it everywhere. But Cooper Flagg does not have to play everywhere on offense. He can play defense. He affects plays. Off the ball, on the ball. People know where he is. They keep one eye on him. So that frees up other guys to do what they need to do. A Malawak, a Knepel, Tyrese Proctor. Those guys get their points, whether it's in transition or whether it's just that offensive chemistry. This team has settled into where Duke wants to pull away. They want to pull away from the rest of the ACC. Now, the question is, can they be reeled in at any time? Carolina trying to make its case very clearly. Carolina getting its signature win, and I've been begging for the Tar Heels to get that signature win. I think the Carolina fan base, without a doubt, screaming at the top of their lungs, even higher than mine. And I don't like to scream. I like to keep it even keel, but screaming at the top of their lungs going, we cannot keep playing from behind and get wins. It just won't happen. They keep playing with that fire. This time they didn't get burned. They came back, knocked out UCLA, a couple late free throws, a little bit of defense, trying to find some Carolina basketball in all of it. They may have found it in their freshman Ian Jackson. Hubert Davis, excited to see what he's seen out of Ian Jackson, and he came off the bench in 32 minutes and led the team in scoring.
Well, he's still a freshman, but I'm just really proud of him. Obviously, it has nothing to do about today. Every day after practice, he always sends me a text and he says, Coach Davis, that's it. And so I have to call, I go, Player Jackson. And he goes, how can I improve? What can I do better? Every day. He does that. And that's the thing, when you're around great kids like RJ and Ian and you get to coach them and they want to be coached, that's the biggest, that's really enjoyable and fun for me.
And that'll help this team move forward. That'll help Hubert Davis rattle this team and get them moving in the right direction as they head into the ACC. Again, it's a matter of who Duke wants to drag with them, right? It feels like Duke came together early, very quickly, and got the wins that they needed to get. It took Carolina a little while to get there. There's no doubt about it. But maybe this was the turn that they needed. Again, most teams, though, at least in my opinion, when it comes to play, and I don't want to keep talking about March Madness and the tournament in March, but that's where we're all headed, right? That's the arrow that we're pointed at. Most teams, in my opinion, have a pair of veteran guards and usually some presence in the middle, which is what Carolina had last year, but they don't quite have that this year, and they're going to have to figure that portion of things out. But in terms of bench spark, if Hubert leaves the team the way it is, they've got one in Ian Jackson. Just one person's opinion. Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us today. I guess we need to move on, so open up the wallet next. Play some bets with us on the Adam Gold Show for a Monday.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
A crisis moment is any moment where you feel overwhelmed and as if you aren't able alone to handle what's happening. You don't have to be alone with that feeling. And when that feeling comes is exactly when you should reach out, you should get connected, and you should be in community. We care, we listen, we help. Call, text, or chat 988 anytime.
Call, text, or chat 988-24/7.
The childcare crisis is taking a heavy toll on North Carolina's families and economy. Our state is already losing out on more than $5.5 billion in economic opportunity because of the childcare crisis, and that cost will only rise without state action. That's why NC Child is advocating for solutions that will help kids learn and grow, help parents work, and help our economy thrive. Learn more at ncchild.org. NC Child, the voice for North Carolina's children.
NC Medicaid is for people just like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Child care teachers. Full healthcare coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
Get full healthcare coverage at low cost, no monthly fees, and $4 max copays. NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
I'm Faith. I work as an American Sign Language interpreter, and I just graduated from my bachelor's program. I texted 988 because at the moment where I needed help, I realized that I didn't have access to English at the moment. Sometimes speaking gets hard for me, and they just helped me calm down, and then I was able to find a friend. It's free, and you can get in touch with people who are trained to help through all sorts of crises.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? A simple thank you, a friendly smile when you pass a stranger, looking people in the eye and greeting them with, "Hi, how are you today?" and really meaning it. It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
My mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
Espero años felicidad. A Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday. Victoria is here on the ones and twos, as always. Oh, yes. Felicidades.
I didn't even know Spanish. Like, as a kid, I'm singing this song like I know Spanish, but maybe this is what taught me my first.
It could.
Because I sung it like I knew it. Oh, it's great.
Espero años felicidades.
I know.
Oh, man. I want to wish you Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. That's brilliant. Love that song.
All right.
Great choice. Inspired.
Thank you.
Inspired. I guess we need to stretch.
Always good to stretch. Always.
Yeah, I did. I just took a lap around the studio. Sitting in one place is really difficult for me. I have a bulky knee, apparently. So.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yep.
you know, things get stiff when you're just sitting around. You got to get the blood flowing, so I get it. That's why I stand up the whole time. But one thing that you might need to do is not sit in your car all day today, because today is apparently the most dangerous day to be out on the road.
What?
I know. There's 3 reasons that they say not to put your holiday shopping off until today, but if you are, it's too late. You may not be able to find what you want because, like you mentioned, lots of people were out in the stores here recently.
I've seen things that do not that existed a week ago that do not exist today.
Exactly. It is probably not still there. Also, there's going to be a ton of people. That's why there's nothing there. And, you could get hurt or worse because Nationwide says that today's the most dangerous day of this month, with all the people who are doing some last-minute scrambling. That'll probably cause them to also be super distracted, even more so than usual, which people are always distracted on the roadway. So they basically are telling you the obvious common sense: put your phones down, focus on the road. There's going to be a lot more going on. They even said that there are going to be 5 or more distractions in a 20-mile commute. And for each distraction, that's averaging about 15 seconds. So they say averaging a 45-mile-per-hour radius, that's the equivalent of driving blind for 3 football fields. That's long.
Which reminds me, I need to get milk on the way home tonight. And there was a guy last year, I remember this, it was in the north side of the area here, who dressed up as Santa Claus and was standing on the side of Lewisburg Road waving at people.
Oh, wow.
And that is a distraction.
Yes, and that's a big road to be distracting people.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That road in particular does not need distractions. You and I both travel that road.
Yes, we do.
there's already a lot of distractions. So, yeah, just be careful if you're out and about doing some last-minute shopping or, picking up last-minute whatevers. Yeah, it's going to be crazy out there. Also, something that's crazy, there's gift etiquette, which I feel like people should know this or do know this, but there is a whole list. Like, someone wrote an entire article about, like, what's considered etiquette, what's not. Basically, the gist of it, the number one thing that they're saying is that you shouldn't do, leaving a price tag on a gift.
Okay.
I'm like, I understand that.
What if you just say, hey, listen, man, I just spent $99.99 on you, but I got a coupon and I didn't tell you about that.
Right, exactly. So you think I spent more. I don't know. They say that that's unacceptable, which I like how they use the term unacceptable, like it's a big no-no. They also say giving a pet as a gift is unacceptable.
Pets are not gifts. Pets are family.
Right. Which, I've already broken that rule. I gave a fish. I totally gave a fish. I can say that now because he knows about it. But yeah, there's a pet fish. Cooper the copper koi. He's awesome. So he's living his best life right now.
People on the YouTube are just watching me shake my head.
I know. It's so funny. I need to post a picture of Cooper. He's awesome. They also say things like re-gifting an item that you didn't want is a no-no. I mean, what if you get something from someone that you think someone else would really enjoy? It's not you being ungrateful.
Correct. There you go.
You're like just spreading it to a better owner.
That's the gray area.
Right? I don't know. I like to think so too, but who knows? Who knows? And along those lines, last but not least, another thing that's getting more expensive are the unwanted gifts. They've actually got an average that people will spend about $72 on an unwanted gift because they're just doing like the thought counts type gift. And they're thinking that people are spending $72 on the gift that's thoughtful?
For a thoughtful gift, trust me, I'll find a place for a thoughtful gift to be about $12.
I know.
I'll hand sign it and everything.
$72. That's a lot. But yeah, so they're saying the most common unwanted gift if you are doing.
Want to hear this.
Yes, if you are doing some last minute shopping and you don't know what to buy for a very picky person, clothing and accessories. That's the most wanted.
I can't run the risk of buying clothes for someone that I don't know, or their sizing is always weird, right?
And then you could offend someone, like if it's a female and you don't know what size she is. You might run the risk of not being,
Candlesticks make a nice gift, right?
Right, gift cards, those are great, right?
Cards. Just give me the cash if you're going to do that. Save yourself the $3 service charge.
Exactly.
Slip me the 20, we'll call it good.
Right, we're all good. You don't even have to put it in a card.
Yep, write a check. Hand it over to me. Just put it in my hand. Merry Christmas.
I know. Maybe you could get some extra dough with some bets.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Alrighty, since this is my lone fill-in day for Adam Gold leading into the holiday, I think I have 3 bets to pass along, and to give you all kinds of love to spread things out, I have one for every day leading into Christmas Day.
Nice.
So we will start tonight, and I will start in the NBA, where the Philadelphia 76ers are taking on the San Antonio Spurs, and Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year last year, has been on a tear lately. He has been setting records left and right now for him to score 25 against Joel Embiid or whoever they decide to defend against him, it is a plus 100, and I like that one a lot. So Victor Wembanyama, 25 points plus on the alternate line, plus 100.
Ooh, I like that one. Can't go wrong with Victor. Now, I'm doing all football for tonight.
Okay.
So, my first one is a little selfish. I need Jaden Reed to score like 10 touchdowns.
We've had this discussion off the air. Jaden Reed will not score 10 touchdowns, but you know what? Listen, you have a 1% chance of that happening, right?
Exactly. So, honestly, if you want to place a bet on him being an anytime touchdown scorer, even if it's just one.
A 10-time touchdown scorer?
It's plus 210 for just an anytime touchdown scorer.
Okay.
So, I would like it to be multiple, but just an anytime. Plus 210. I'll take it.
Okay, there you go. All right, I am going to roll into football for tomorrow night. There are bowl games on today. There are bowl games on tomorrow. The Christmas Eve traditional bowl game is always the Hawaii Bowl. The Hawaii Bowl features South Florida and San Jose State University. -3.5. Spartans of San Jose State. I will take them. That is -102. Former Navy coach Ken Niamatolo leads the San Jose Spartans. They put up a lot of points, so -3.5. I don't think that's very big. I think they cover that pretty easy.
Oh yeah, well, so this one I was out at the Canes ticket stop last Friday, and a gentleman came up and said that he actually used my pick in a parlay, like I recommended, and it worked out for him. So I'm hoping that this will work out for him again. So first half totals, I like doing these. I'm actually going to take the over because it's set at 22.5. That's -115 for the first half total. So we'll see. Put it in a parlay. Okay. It's minus.
I got you. All right. Well, I'm gonna go parlay too. I'm the prince of parlay.
Yes.
I hit a couple over the weekend, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Christmas Day, NFL, got 2 games, and I'm gonna parlay the Ravens. And I'm going to parlay the Steelers on the money line, which gives me a +233. So I'm picking Ravens and Steelers on the money line. That is the parlay, +233 via FanDuel.
Oh, and last but not least, tonight's game. So they're going to be in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. They're out of the dome, and they're using Rattler tonight. So the guy who could also be like working at a zoo because his name is awesome. I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers to come away with the win because they're in the hunt, so they're trying to go to the playoffs. Give me them to win. I'm going to take the over 43.5. That together is +105.
Temperature tonight in Green Bay going to be in the upper 20s with snow showers.
Oh, it's going to be a snowing football game?
Well, I don't know if it'll...
Maybe?
I mean, listen, I'm not a meteorologist. I wanted to be one when I was a kid, but I'm not one. But that's what said weather thing pops up on my screen. So, there you have it. Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold today. Victoria is here as well. We got lots of people to hear from. The Wall of Sound coming up next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
My name is Private Reborn. I'm with 157. We're currently in Finland, and I would like to give a huge holiday shout out to Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's my hometown. My mom, my grandma, my sisters, my homeboys, of course.
Edwards Inc., standing tall and proudly saluting all who have served and those who continue to serve this holiday season.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. That's right, now's your last chance to trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Only at Verizon. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Are you looking for the perfect holiday gift? Did you know that Bailey's has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for our designer jewelry, fine diamonds, and luxury watches, but we also have a vast selection of beautiful jewelry and gifts under $500. You can make a piece of our Bailey's collection yours this Christmas. Add a little sparkle with the popular Icon Collection Tiny Diamond Hoops in either white, rose, or yellow gold for $395. For only $250, check out our beautiful Sterling Collection Diamonds by the Yard bracelet. Or select one of our Bailey's perfect layering necklaces. For $325, our Gold Mark Station necklace, or for only $275, our Icon Puffed Heart pendant. We're celebrating over 75 years of making holiday gifting easy. You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Because Vanderjet out in front. Kochetkov, and somehow Kreider couldn't find the room. Excellent job by Fyodor Kochetkov. Kochetkov will play it. 10 seconds left on the man advantage. Orlov with it. Orlov into the zone. He'll look. Center from the score! Jack Roslovic draws the power play and finishes it. 2-1 Carolina with a power play goal.
As they say in France, the power play goal. Adam Gold Show on a Monday. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Adam off taking a little time off, but he will still have his hands all over the Carolina Hurricanes coverage. As you heard, Hurricanes taking on the Nashville Predators tonight, in which is a reunion with Brady Shea and his fat bank account, but 10-win hockey team. Paul Ihander in for Adam again today, as I just mentioned. Victoria is here, though, on the ones and twos, as we try to lighten the mood and have a good day with all of you, and we do appreciate you joining us every single day. So many voices, so little time. Perhaps it's time to hear from them all. It is time for the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
So if we want to hear from all these voices, I think we need to hear from one of those emerging voices, a voice that you wanted to always hear from since the start of last year, and you were probably in and out on him from time to time, but it feels like more of you are in on him these days, and that is the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young. It is not sizzling conversation you get from Bryce Young. It feels a little bit more honest and balanced when it comes from Bryce Young. There's no real true high. There's no real true low. But Bryce Young speaks truth. 36-30. Panthers get that overtime win. 2 games remaining in the season. We're not playoff bound by any means, Carolina Panthers fans. I say we because I'm in there with you. I'm in that bus. I'm in that boat. And we don't have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, which is a good thing. It means we have hit the rockiest of rock bottoms, which means we're on our way up, right? We're on our way up. It's an overtime win, and Bryce Young says there's no quit. No quit in this team.
We talked about this last part of the season being a great opportunity just for us to finish, to set the tone for the future, kind of just lay the foundation of where we want to go. And it's a week-to-week league. We're just in this week. We can only do 1 week at a time. But just having that point of emphasis and then coming out and executing, having a great team win today, in the cold in December, there's no quit in this team at all. Something I'm super grateful to be a part of. So I think it just our strive to finish, and that's something that coach instills in us on a daily basis. I think it's showing.
Okay, it feels a little rec ball-y kind of an answer, a little high school-y kind of an answer, but it is your quarterback. And Victoria, when you hear Bryce Young talk about this team coming together, and it was a 4-game losing streak, and that was a long losing streak. But does a win like yesterday, especially in overtime, with the number of points that were scored, does it make you feel a little bit more comfortable as a Panthers fan that you feel like progress has been made this season?
Yeah, no, I love it. That's the one thing I wanted was progress. I did not go into the season thinking they were going to make the playoffs, even though the NFC South, it's, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's crapshoot.
But I just wanted to see some progression. And I feel like it's a good sweet spot because it's not like they've won a ton that puts them way out of a draft pick. I know some people were sad to see it, the draft pick kind of float away a little bit with a win, but
rise past the top 5. Yeah, I get that.
I think most of us, if you love the Panthers as a fan, that win felt good. We needed that going into Christmas.
Yeah, do you want wins or do you want high draft picks? Like, for me, I will take wins. You can trade yourself into draft picks or out of draft picks, as Panthers fans know. But wins are wins. You have 4. Last season you had 2. The season prior you had 7. You've hit rock bottom. You're back on the way up. I'm assuming you're back on the way up if you feel that way. And the mistakes that were made early on by a first-year general manager and a first-year coach feel like they're mistakes of old. Now, it was a 4-game losing streak. That is undeniable. But the team played fairly good football with the exception of that last game and that 4-game losing streak. And yes, there are some questions about defense. And yes, there are some questions about health when it comes to this football team. And yes, it's still just a 4-win football team. But you get good vibes, and you have an NFL quarterback, a game-managing quarterback right now at this point in his career. But you are a far cry from where this game-managing quarterback used to be. And a little sit-down and a little bit of medicine without the sugar.
Yeah, big difference from the beginning of the season.
You can see it.
And hey, if it took a little bit of a benching to get him on the right track, I'm for it.
Okay.
I mean, whatever works.
Yeah, listen, it's not always going to be sunshine and lollipops. You're going to have to take your lumps too, which is why I said medicine without the sugar. It's a 4-win football team. We can be real about that, but take the joy where you can find it. All right, Carolina Panthers. Carolina Hurricanes. Talk about them. As we move through our wall of sound here on the Adam Gold Show, the Carolina Panthers have been winning some hockey games. There's no doubt about it, and they find themselves in a back-to-back situation. They had a road trip, and they're still on this road trip. They took out the Rangers 3-1 after dropping one on Friday to the Washington Capitals. They now take on the Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators are not that hot. The one thing about the Carolina Hurricanes that plagued them at the end of last season, and at times throughout the season, is their penalty kill. And their penalty kill on defense has now turned into this nearly unbeatable juggernaut. Top 3 when it comes to penalty kill. You know who's noticing that? Head coach Rod Brindamore.
Every game is kind of, it's about the next one, and you're 0 for 0 when you start that next game. So tonight was a good one because we killed them all. And, you get some momentum. I think you get a little bit of confidence with it. Certainly if it goes the other way, you're kind of always on your heels, not sure about yourself. And especially the way we kill. I think we're aggressive and you want to be confident in what you're doing.
Have we just gone from one even-killed guy to another even-killed guy? Like, head coach Rod Brindamore of the Carolina Hurricanes doesn't get too high, right? He keeps things right on the level with you. It reminds me of what he said the other night during, it was an ESPN game, I think it was last week, and they were trying to define all the lines, right? And he was like, Jordan Stahl, that third line's doing really great. And Rod, without missing a beat, goes, I don't know what line you're talking about. He goes, I need more specifics. I don't number my lines. And the commentators were kind of taken aback by it, but that's just what you get. Like, Rod Brindamore's talking about how impressed he's been with the penalty kill. I'm like, that is like you talking about buying a loaf of bread at the store.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
yes.
Need a loaf of bread. Okay, I bought a loaf of bread.
The card had a squeaky wheel. It was, just another day.
Rod just expects the penalty kill to be impressive. He expects this kind of talent, this kind of production from his hockey team. And he's been getting it. And the way to keep getting it is to keep pushing forward on teams like the Nashville Predators. Win the games you're supposed to win, and then get the wins in the places where you want the wins. And that's what this team has to do. And they got one in New York at Madison Square Garden, which is not an easy place to win hockey games. And hopefully they get another one tonight on the road in Nashville. Let's talk about college basketball, shall we, with the Duke Blue Devils. The Duke Blue Devils seem to be the team within the All-Coast Conference, that's what I'm calling it now, the ACC, in terms of trying to pull away from the rest of the conference. And that's not an easy task to do by any means. But when it comes to the Duke Blue Devils, they found themselves gelling very, very early to where they find themselves only matched by SMU. Again, what SMU? What's going on here? Also on a 6-game win streak. Both teams 10-2, but trying to pull away from the rest of the ACC. The Duke Blue Devils tried to make that happen. They got a resounding victory over the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets over the weekend. It wasn't even close. Balanced scoring, plenty of defense. Start to finish, it was a Blue Devils domination. Head coach John Shire talks about that evolution of his team offensively and defensively.
I think we've grown so much. Just the togetherness, the toughness, and specifically the thing that's grown the most is our defense. I look back on that game, our defense wasn't close, to where it is now. And that's going to be what drives us the whole year. And this team has embraced it. Con knows it. And again, we'll see 33 days from now, and we have to continue to grow.
Amazing what a month of basketball together can happen. After that loss at Kentucky on a neutral court, they get wins, and then they lose to Kansas. And since then, it's been Duke basketball, the traditional sense of what you expect from them. Hustle on all points of the court, guys doing things without the basketball. That's going to be important as you move forward in this season to knock off the Kansases, to make sure that the Auburns don't come and sneak out wins against you, to ensure that the UConns of the world and those others, and that includes North Carolina, don't steal anything from you when you don't want them. There's a reason why you have the team that you have. There's a reason why those preseason prognosticators and those who watch your basketball team also see the improvement that John Shire has seen. Duke wants to pull away. This Atlantic Coast Conference, All-Coast Conference, ACC, is a tough place to eke out wins. It's not just about survival by any means. It's about surviving, and it's about dominating as well. Duke is really close to making that happen in the ACC, but they're going to have a lot of teams on their tail. All right, folks, there's your wall of sound. Coming up next here on the Adam Gold Show, the one-way Netflix can ensure your Christmas day stays drama-free with all the sports fans hanging out on your couch. It's next up here on the Adam Gold Show.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the paw print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
And the Panthers win in overtime. 21-yard run by Chuba Hubbard. Sweet Caroline, one more time in 2024.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it's Monday Night Football time, and we're going bigger on Monday nights. All customers, not just new customers, we love all customers, can get a 30% catch-a-pass profit boost on the Saints and the Packers. That means you can boost your next NFL catch-a-pass bet by 30%, take home even more winnings. During the game, you can bet on totals, spreads, props, so much more. Plus, you get paid right away if you win. So don't wait. Download America's #1 sports book by visiting FanDuel.com/AdamGold and take advantage of a profit boost today. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Let's have some fun. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's Bo time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we...
Seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
This sounds like the original record of Brenda Lee rocking around the Christmas tree.
It's the best.
I'm like, this actually feels like it's off the original vinyl.
Right.
Which is impressive. Adam Gold Show. Paul Lyhander in for Adam on this Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us just a couple of days before Santa's big visit. Those of you out thinking, I don't know what to get anybody, don't go gift card, by the way. Don't go gift card. Just hand over the cash.
Yeah.
Seriously. Just hand over the cash. You're at that point, a wonderfully handwritten note on a nice piece of stationery or just whatever copy paper that's hanging around your office, whatever it happens to be, just hand it over.
Yeah.
Give them the cash. You're going to spend $20, $25. It'll save you the trip to the store. Maybe. Now, the only caveat is if you shop at a place that gives you fuel points or something, like this is the time of year to stack up fuel points. I'm like, you're going to buy gift cards, stack up the fuel points. That way you get like $1 off wherever you go. I'm a big fan of the fuel points, big fan of the rewards cards and things like that. So there is one exception. So I'll give you that one exception. If you don't live in a place, if you live in a place that gives you fuel points or you shop at a place, do that. Otherwise, straight cash, homie. Straight cash.
No one's ever not liked that.
That's right. I mean, who turns that away? I'm like, you know.
Sorry, that's not really what I wanted for Christmas.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for that $27. It really wasn't. I'm like, can you do better? I really wanted a vanilla candle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put that in the drawer with the rest of them.
Right, yep, just slide it in there. Cash, whatever.
Tropical punch.
Yeah, be nice to each other, folks. It's the holidays. That's Victoria. Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. So we find ourselves in the era of streaming, where sports, entertainment, whatnot, we are digesting more and more via app. We are digesting more and more via our phones and iPads. There are people right now listening to this program either on their computer or watching us on their YouTube app or wherever it is. We are in the era of streaming and apps. This Christmas, and this starts on Wednesday and actually runs into Thursday, the NFL will present 3 games exclusively on apps. Streaming providers will give us 3 professional football games, 2 on Christmas Day and 1 on the day after Christmas. We get Kansas City, Pittsburgh in a doubleheader with Baltimore, Houston, and then we get Seattle and Chicago on the Thursday night. That has now become the traditional, quote-unquote, Amazon Prime Thursday game. On Wednesday, though, we are being treated to something completely different. We are about to get 2 games, and some of you are going to hate this because you're like, really? You don't have a choice. If you want to consume professional football, your options are surrendering your firstborn for an NFL Sunday ticket subscription. Maybe if you're not a firstborn, maybe if you're a pet parent, your first dog or the first out of the litter of puppies.
Yes.
You will give up whatever it takes, or you have a subscription to, and if you remember Netflix from back in the day, remember when you just used to rent DVDs from Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
And then you would send them back?
They'd have to mail it in the snail mail.
Netflix has evolved well beyond that. They are carrying mini-series about sports. They are doing live golf presentations. They're doing live boxing. And now they're doing live football. 2 games of the NFL, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston. The NFL has given us this gift. We all knew this was coming. You're not going to go to a bar, probably not, and watch this one. Not going to be able to go to a restaurant and watch this one. You are going to have to surrender yourselves to either a trial of Netflix, or if you have a Netflix subscription, that's where it would be. Netflix, you have one job.
Yes.
One job.
Listen
on Christmas
closely.
Day. Do not screw this up.
No.
Make sure your streams are solid. That's it. You will spare weeks and weeks and weeks of grousing and moaning and groaning because there are people going over to people's houses specifically to watch these football games after they have done all their gift giving, after they've done any sort of church service, volunteer work, whatever it is. They are going to sit in front of the couch and watch football. There will be NBA games on, but the NFL has encroached into that territory. And I worked many NBA games in my prior life. One of my prior sports stops, I spent a Christmas Day in a studio hosting NBA games. The NFL has taken over. All Netflix has to do is make sure the stream stays good.
Please.
Because if it doesn't, there will be moments of awkward silences in homes that will be really, really awkward. It will be along the lines of, well, maybe we should go outside. Should we take a walk? Oh, I bet you the dog needs to go out. Oh, maybe we should have some food. That's the only saving grace. The problem is the game's at 1 and at 4:30. So it's after lunchtime and it's before dinner.
Right.
Netflix, keep the stream solid. That is it.
Mm-hmm.
No buffering. No, oh, sorry, we didn't plug in the cord or whatever it is.
Last thing you want is somebody who shouldn't be in the kitchen trying to help in the kitchen because the stream isn't working, so they're bored.
Yeah, it gets awkward. The Christmas ham and the sides and the should we go burn stuff out in the barrel and all that kind of No. We all came over to watch some football, have some brandied eggnog. Do people still drink brandied eggnog? People
Probably.
still drink that? Okay, I think they call them Tom and Jerry's. That's what my grandparents call them.
Okay.
Tom and Jerry's. They put nutmeg and some cream on it, whatever.
I've never had eggnog. I know.
Wait a second now. Wait a second.
I know.
This is like having the conversation with the friend who's never seen Star Wars.
I know.
Right?
It's a thing.
Really? Is it
I
the
know.
textures? Is it just the fact that you've never been presented with
I think
said
the
option?
opportunity. I think I've just never had the opportunity. Like, it's never been an option.
Really?
I know.
Okay.
Maybe I was around it, like, before the legal age. I might have been around one that was not legal. Maybe that was the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they do have the more adulty eggnogs,
Yes.
but they have the plain eggnog that you can buy at any store.
In a carton.
And hey, listen, there's no shame. But first of all, everybody listening out there, I'm not shaming Victoria for not having eggnog.
Mhm.
But that isn't one of those more unusual kind of things that you don't hear very often about trying foods, especially around the holidays. I mean, there's certain European ethnic foods and things like that a lot of people have not had the opportunity to eat that I was forced to eat as a child. Lutefisk. Google lutefisk and you'll be wondering why Paul had it, and you'll be like, it wasn't by choice.
Right.
Kind of getting my kids to eat vegetables. But back to the task at hand. Paul Eihander, that's Victoria, Adam Gold Show. Netflix, just keep the stream solid.
Please.
Just keep the stream solid because you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. And when it comes to the NFL, and the NBA will try its hardest, but no one's going to sit down and watch the litany of NBA games that are coming up over the holidays. It just isn't the same kind of vibe. And there are more opportunities. There's like 5 games, right? The NFL is just having the doubleheader, and they gave us a couple of doozies, too. They didn't give us garbage. They gave us some stuff to actually watch and dig into. And I'm happy about that. But there is nothing more disruptive to a home than a last-minute gift that comes out of a closet right out of nowhere. Oh, we forgot about that one. What did we do with it? Well, we can't save it for next year, so let's pull that out there. Or, Aunt Gladys decided that this was the time to share all the stories about her health issues.
Right.
We don't need to know this. There are awkward conversations that can absolutely be avoided. There are awkward situations that can absolutely be avoided thanks to streaming services, the NFL, and just the advent of television.
And this would be a good redemption moment because that boxing match, if that's what you want to call it, with Paul and Tyson was awful. I mean, awful. It was so bad with the streaming. So hopefully, knock on wood, they've figured it out.
Yeah, you think we've learned a little bit time and time again when it comes to it. And maybe they called up the folks at Amazon. Hey, listen, how do you guys pull this off every week? You're doing it once every week. You never have any issues whatsoever. It's always available to you. Now, the positive news is Netflix has actually hired the people that actually do the games to produce them. So I believe they hired CBS. I believe they hired Fox. And they said, you guys produce the games, we will distribute. So I'm not worried about the production elements. Apparently there are some new graphics that they're going to roll out. I mean, I don't know. Does it involve candy canes and envelopes?
Yeah. Is Santa Claus going to be in the end zone dancing?
Well, that would be the Nickelodeon thing. I'm not sure they're going to go that far with the full cartoon, kind of thing. The Simpsons. It was
I
the
was
Simpsons,
going to say,
right?
they just did The Simpsons, so I'm curious now.
There was a little bit of that, but simplest ways to make things happen, I think, for sure. Just keep the stream stable. It'll make life in my house a lot simpler. I won't have to watch Boss Baby Christmas for the 8th time.
Oh, no.
Trust me. You've seen it once. You don't need to see it again.
Right.
Just putting that one out there. Oh, man, we are dying for another new Christmas movie that doesn't involve animation. All right, Adam Gold Show on this Monday. Thanks for indulging, folks. Coming up next, goals for the Panthers, 3 of them, as the 2024 season comes to a close on the road. That's next up here on the Adam Gold Show.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we are closing in just a few weeks away from the NFL playoffs, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong. Run through the tape. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins, so pick an easy one. FanDuel has so many ways for you to win. So, FanDuel.com/AGS. Join today. This way, you'll be ready when the playoffs roll around. FanDuel.com/AGS. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Children across North Carolina are struggling with high rates of anxiety and depression. children, and our schools and communities don't have enough resources to support our kids' mental health. But at NC Child, we are advocating for policies that address the youth mental health crisis and set our children up for a lifetime of success. Learn more about how we are creating a North Carolina where every child can thrive at ncchild.org. That's ncchild.org. NC Child, the voice for North Carolina's children.
I am Bruno Hinojosa and I live in Asheville. I work in construction and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. I went to their website, applied, and got covered. Doctor visits, yearly checkups, and even emergency care if I need it. Being a business owner can be stressful at times, but knowing that I got covered, it just takes weight off my shoulders. And I can get the care that I need when I need it at low or no cost. And it's one less thing I need to worry about now.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
A crisis moment is any moment where you feel overwhelmed and as if you aren't able alone to handle what's happening. You don't have to be alone with that feeling. And when that feeling comes is exactly when you should reach out, you should get connected, and you should be in community. We care, we listen, we help. Call, text, or chat 988 anytime.
Call, text, or chat 988-24/7.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
If you can plan barbecues, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts and make a family plan. Ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
From now on, our troubles will be miles away. I can match. I'm not saying I'm as, I'm not.
It meshes.
Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today.
Classic.
Appreciate Adam letting me sit in the chair. Victoria is here as well. That is one of my holiday. I love that song.
Me too.
I do. There are so many Christmas carols and whatnot that are available to us. That is almost a slow dance as much as it is a Christmas song, more than anything else. This is a really, really wonderful time of year to spend. Make sure you do so. Friends and family, if you're by yourselves, check in on others. Let others check in on you. And pick up the phone and call someone you hadn't talked to in a while. I made that a point a couple of months ago, actually, to call a couple of friends I hadn't talked to in a while. And it was really heartwarming.
Yeah.
Just one of those just special kind of moments. And we didn't talk about sports or past lives. It was just like, catch up. Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to say hi.
You never know how meaningful that could be for somebody.
It's true.
Just to check in on them.
It's very true. Speaking of meaningful, those of you Carolina Panthers fans, I suspect this year there might be a few more things under the tree or in stockings or however you celebrate that actually have Carolina Panthers logos on them because you have a little bit more pride in wearing those this year, right? There feels like there's a little bit more, yeah, it's okay to pull the blue and black and silver and white out of the closet, right? Kind of feels that way.
Oh, yeah.
Panthers are closing the season on the road. They have Tampa Bay, so they're done at home. The 2 games remaining, the way the schedule worked out, they have Tampa at home, on the road, and Atlanta on the road as well. So they close with NFC South teams. The Carolina Panthers have the full opportunity to play spoiler in 3 consecutive weeks, which is unique by any means. They did it with the overtime win Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Sent them home packing, knowing that they will not be spending the postseason anywhere but a beach, and that's okay too. I mean, that would be okay, but the goal is to what? Win Super Bowls, to play in the playoffs as deep as you can, and to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. That's where you want to be. Now, that being said, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. So for me, the Panthers have some goals as this season comes to a close on the road. Part of that has to do with how we set the bar, how we, as a collective, can evaluate this team. Dave Canales has evaluated the progress the team has made so far.
Yeah, we just look for weekly progress. You know, we take each game kind of as an isolated game and look at those things, work on the issues, and try to just improve 1 week at a time. And that's been our focus, and that's going to be our focus again this week. You know, with Christmas coming up and a little bit of a different schedule, can we still get our work done and be focused to get ready to go play the Bucs?
Bucks is what butts. It kind of died out.
It did
weird
sound like he said butts.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Dave? You're a handsome man. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He is a handsome man. I'm not afraid to call another man a handsome man. He's a handsome man. The Carolina Panthers will be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 8-point underdogs early on in this one. So for this team, and he talked about it, and I think that's a proper way to kind of isolate what's left of the Carolina Panthers. The overall portion of the season, it's kind of lost based on record, right? You're not going to play in the postseason. Market improvement from last year, 4-11, new coach, new regime, da-da-da-da-da. You've heard this over and over and over again. But as they move into these final 2 games, the first one being at Tampa Bay, how do you judge this team moving forward? And how do you set goals for this team moving forward beyond the simple things like we need to execute, we need to pound the football. We need to
look at the tape.
Right. We don't want to turn over the football. So what exactly are we looking for this team? So goals. So one of the goals for me, and feel free to chime in at any point because this feels a little bit more like freeform jazz, kind of like we're painting over the graffiti on a wall, just kind of seeing what sticks. For me, what I want to see, and just one, is a non-game manager explosive game from Bryce Young. A 300-yard performance. Now, I know my prop isn't going to hit, and for those of you who have listened to me do my content and my show in the Raleigh area, I have joked about a preseason prop that I placed on Bryce Young, which was throw for 3,200 yards. Right now, Bryce stands at 1,949.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So I'm saying if Bryce Young throws for 620 yards against Tampa and another 620 against Atlanta, yeah.
You got it.
So let's talk realistic a little bit. I want the explosive game from Bryce Young to send Tampa thinking back into its corner, knowing that Tampa will have to win some football games at the end of the season and not control its own fate. For me, that would be a goal for the Carolina Panthers, to get to see if we can get Bryce Young to have that explosive performance, to take him one step further in that progress and maturation. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe it's premature for that to happen. But for me, I think that would be reasonable for this Panthers team to get him to really blow out of his shell and just catch everything for him.
Yeah, that would make big waves in the locker room, too. Because, I feel like at the beginning of the season, the guys wanted Andy Dalton to be in. They wanted the change up because they were getting frustrated with the bad passes and whatnot. Now, if we could get the locker room back on board, which I feel like they are, that would be great. Those would be good positive waves like Dave likes.
Yeah, it would be right, positive way. The optimistic bully.
Yeah.
The optimistic bully that is that. So the one explosive game, right? That's kind of the one thing that you want to see in terms of consistency. I think the other thing for this team in terms of goals, and we're just seeing what sticks to the wall, folks. Just seeing what sticks to the wall. For the Carolina Panthers, again, they have 2 games left. Both are on the road. Tampa first and then Atlanta. I think for this Carolina football team, for them to take better steps forward would be for the defense to truly dial in. And I mentioned this before, a team that gives up 30 points that's a lot of points for a team that wants to be a much more run-heavy, a much more ball control kind of team. The explosives, they've kind of gotten rid of that word in the vocabulary in the last few weeks. Maybe part of that had to do with the losing streak, but we haven't heard a lot of that word lately. The explosives, right? You know, the big plays, the Coker plays, and those kinds of things, because they just didn't exist. But 30 points is a lot. I mean, you gave up 30 to the Chiefs, and you lost by 3.
Right.
But it felt like you were in that game the entire time, right?
It's very competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of points to be putting on the board. And this team, and if you listen to the show the entire way, this could be one of those trivia questions at the end. Hey, what did we learn today?
Right.
That the team hasn't put up 36 since week 3 when they played the Raiders. And that was 36 in a winning effort in regulation. This team's not known for that kind of offense. It's not a high-scoring offense. They're going up against the top-scoring offense in Tampa in the NFC South. So for me, it would be really for this defense to dial in, not just make stops in one period of play, but make stops throughout all of it. And they are going up against a running back, and it feels like we're getting so far ahead of ourselves talking about next Sunday, but they are going up against a 2-headed running back in Bucky Irving, who makes everybody miss.
It's crazy.
And Rashad White. And let's not forget Baker Mayfield's on his way to a ridiculous season. He's got thrown 34 touchdowns, and again, I'm not want to get stuck on stats, but he's thrown for nearly 4,000 yards.
Right.
That is in an offense that can get rolled on you if you're not careful.
Oh, and he shows up in those big moments, too. Like, when there's pressure, he does not fold at all to that. Because I honestly thought they were going to come back last night. Who was it? White that dropped the pass? Like, if he had not, they were going to get a field goal, I feel like. But that's just my thoughts.
They hung in there. But
Yeah.
Tampa's fighting for a spot, right? Tampa's fighting for a spot. Atlanta's fighting for a spot. Carolina's fighting for the spoiler role. And that's a good role to play. It's a good role to play. We weren't even thinking about this role for the Panthers last season. As we think of 3 goals here for the Panthers as they move into the final 2 road games of the season, final games of this season. Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold today on this Monday. Victoria is here as well. So for the third thing for this team, and this third thing's a little bit more challenging for me more than anything else, but I think it's to complete a full game. Maybe it's not necessarily a win, although a win would be nice. Again, you're 8-point underdogs on the road. But for the offensive line to control the offensive line. And what I mean by that, just in terms of control, is to not have to make Chuba Hubbard's job that much tougher, to not make Bryce Young's job that much tougher, to make sure that that bubble is intact. Because there's a guy by the name of Vita Vea on the Tampa Bay team that is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
He is a mountain of a man. He is hard to miss. He draws double and triple teams, which creates problems because they're able to push in other areas. One big bubble to where you control that line of scrimmage, you don't make mistakes, you don't have happy feet, and you don't have Bryce Young take more sacks. Bryce was sacked 3 times against Arizona.
He was, yeah.
He was sacked 3 times. So for them to provide that protective bubble, that protective sheath around Young, and to be able to create holes for Chuba where Chuba doesn't have to do so much dancing or, put forearms in people's helmets to gain yards, because we know what he's capable of. It feels like that pressure's come off of Chuba to where he doesn't have to worry about the heft of the contract. And we always see athletes go through that time after they sign big deals. They all don't quite come out of the gates. They may come out initially, and then there's that slump. And Chuba signed that deal midway through the season. So, again, this is like subliminal little psychology stuff stuck in the back of your head. Oh, man, now I got to go out and earn it. Earned it on Sunday. No doubt about that. But that offensive line can make itself very well known in its last 2 games, being able to protect Bryce, being able to create holes for Chuba, and open up that offense. Open up that offense just a little bit for Bryce Young to get that 300-yard game that I really want him to have. I really do. I think for him to be really, really happy, and you see those flashes of joy.
Yes.
You see those
Or he's
smiles.
smiling
Again,
and
we've been
dancing.
smiling like all day. We really have been. But for this team to dial in, I think those three things would help, like, for the Panthers, because
huge.
Outside of the tangible things, I mean, like, you're not going to improve the roster. You're not going to, maybe he needs 12 tackles today, that
Right.
kind of stuff. I think these are things that they can hang their hat on, move into 2025 in the right direction. And you know what? Hey, the 7th pick in the NFL draft is not a bad pick.
No. It's the small wins. That's really what I wanted in this season, was small wins, because I knew we weren't going to get big ones. It's just the progression, the baby steps towards a good team.
Rock bottom's gone.
Yeah.
Rock bottom has gone. No one is talking about anything that had happened prior to the season anymore. We use it as reference points. We don't use that as points of, yep, told you so, little cattle prods and whatnot. That's not quite how it works. All right. Let's move on from the Panthers to the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes, as we round out this show, find themselves in some interesting positions. They're playing the Nashville Predators tonight. The Predators are not a good hockey team by any means. They are not getting windmill saves out of Pyotr Kochetkov, although I think Rod Brindamore wouldn't mind a windmill save from Pyotr Kochetkov.
I know. We're due for one. I love them.
Because they are fun. And Rod Brindamore has to deal with what he has to deal with, which is a road trip. They're spending a lot of time away from home. They've got some issues to address when it comes to some offensive production from a couple of players, and we will address that here in mere moments. And we've got to figure out how to get Marty Necas back to being Marty Necas, because other teams have keyed in on him, and they have slowed him down a ton. And you hear it in the commentary, and I've had the fortunate part of being able to listen to both home and away commentary. And because I know what I'm getting out of Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy, I know what they're going to say about the team. I listen sometimes to the away teams to kind of get their take on the guys, right? Because I know how Mike and Trip feel about the Carolina Hurricanes. Like, it's not some big secret. But to hear what others say about this team is very interesting. And when they talk about Marty Necas, they talk about how he is a creator and he's a magician. They use the word magician, and I think that's probably right. It's not an illusion. Like, he's doing kind of real things within how you would describe a magician. There's some real tangible things that are being shown, and he's very good with the puck, and he's very speedy. But for the last, and speed is an understatement when it comes to Marty Necas. He has been mired in a little bit of a slowdown. Since the end of November, it's been a little tough for him to find goals. And he was named Player of the Month. Like, Player of the Month in back-to-back months. Like, he was being touted as an MVP guy. Other teams have figured that out. And so the Carolina Hurricanes, where they sit, have to kind of figure out where they can help him out. Because of Marty Necas' 14 goals, I don't want to get mired in statistics too much. Half of them have come on power play, which is where he wanted to be, and it's good. But the other half have come on 5-on-5 opportunities, and that's where the challenge comes in. There are only so many power play goals to go around. 5-on-5 is where that true creativity, that true magic comes into play for Marty Necas. But Marty Necas needs some help. And it did not help that Jack Drury is going to be out for several more weeks with the broken hand. And so we need some step up. There are not 4 Sebastian Ahos on the ice, unfortunately. I wish we could have 4. It just doesn't work out that way. And Jordan Stahl's line, the line that he captains between Sean Walker and Jordan Martinook, is a line you're not going to disrupt. It's very clear that head coach Rod Brindamore does not want to move them around. So you've got to get some production from the second line. And that second line right now is being keyed by Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And Jesperi Kotkaniemi has been stuck. He has been stuck in, I don't know what you want to call it. Do you want to call it neutral? Do you want to call it, I'm not sure what it is with him. There is a block that is happening with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. So much that it is affecting Marty Necas, because Marty Necas doesn't really have anywhere else to play. Tyson Jost is an alternative, but he's not the creator that he needs to be. and to look back at all the zeros, and it's really difficult to look back at all the zeros that are in Jesperi Kotkaniemi's statistical lines. And where he should be helping you is with the helpers, the assists. He's got a handful of goals, but where he needs to be is with the assists, and it's just not clicking. And I'm not sure what the stuck point is. In business, you call them stucks, hurdles. If there's a crucial conversation to be had with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, I hope it has happened. And maybe there's some pressure on him to make that happen. Maybe there's just a stuck that can't get him uncorked. But it is a problem for this hockey team that the star players, and you want Aho and Jarvis, you're going to move them around with Jack Roslovic or Eric Robinson. Can you do that? I'm not sure you can. Can you disrupt Andrei Svechnikov and Marty Necas? There's something missing in between those two guys. It's an invisibility. It is a point that needs to be corrected for this team to take that next big step forward. Right now they're doing it with some grit and some guts, some timely goal scoring all across the boards. But you can't have one player, two players on your team, and I'm just talking specifically about one, that isn't getting the job done. I don't think I'm telling anybody who follows this hockey team, who understands the NHL, anything amazingly new. The problem is that it's a long, extended drought in a time where they really need his help. And it just isn't coming.
I feel like we've been here before, multiple times.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's over and over and over again. Nothing's getting keyed. There's no offensive production coming from that, and it is just this empty void that must be filled, and it can't always be next man up. That crucial conversation has to happen. We've got to stop talking about goaltending right now. We have employed 5 goalies. Carolina Hurricanes fans, this team has put 5 goalies in net this season, and you have 21 wins to show for it. That is the envy of many other teams in this league, including the team that you beat on Sunday, the New York Rangers, who lean on Igor Shesterkin like no other. But you look at this team and you can stop thinking about goaltending and start thinking about what you got offensively and how you address that. You're not going to be moving a lot of guys up and down. There's not a lot of left over. And hopes and wishes and prayers don't speed up the recovery for Jack Drury. This team will have to figure something out. Now, we do want to talk about goaltending for a hot second here. Pyotr Kochetkov has been the guy that frustrates Canes fans, but as of late, hasn't been the guy that frustrates Canes fans. He holds a mark, a very recent mark, and only 2 goalies have it since 1989. He had 2 points last night. I'm only putting that out there because of the 2 assists that he had, he also managed to save 30 shots. 30 shots against the likes of Artemi Panarin, 30 shots against the likes of Vincent Trocheck, 30 shots against the likes of Mika Zibanejad. New York Rangers are not the same team. We all understand this, but to make those kinds of plays, to make that kind of effort against the Rangers, and to do it within his ability, within himself, is very important. That's a very mature point. Now, he could come out tonight. He could come out against New Jersey coming up, and New Jersey Devils, trust me, they are looking down at the Hurricanes right now.
Right.
He could play against those teams and do all the silly things that we're used to seeing. The mental brain farts, I guess is the best way to call it. The skating way out, to the dot, out to the face-off circle, and then watching him swim and slide back into net. Like, that is the most frustrating thing in the history of things to see.
It is.
But recently has been playing within himself. And yes, the game against Washington wasn't a great game, but it wasn't necessarily all his fault. But he's turned in some very solid performances. Yesterday's was fine, and earlier on the week. Like, this team has made some turns and made some angles. And perhaps Pyotr Kochetkov, who, in my opinion, and I say that because I need to couch it by saying, in my opinion, not quite ready for number 1. Until we see, because I fear, and fear is a very powerful word, I fear that he will go right back to where we began, to the sliding out and the over-aggressive play and the whatnot. But when he plays within himself, and you can see it, and I can see it as well, when he plays within himself, you have much more confidence in this Carolina Hurricanes hockey team. You don't deny that they play good defense. The Jalen Chatfield is on the ice longer than the officials at this point. Like, he plays a lot of ice time. And Dmitry Orlov has turned into an elite defender yet again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Reason why they're paying him those dollars.
And I'm glad that he has been, because he was a question mark, too, at the beginning of the season.
Right. I think we were all like, okay, is there effort? Is it physical? Is it fitness? Whatever it is, no one's concerned. Nobody talks about that noise anymore. When Pyotr Kochetkov plays within himself, we are not concerned about how that rolls at all. We go, yep, defense is going to play in front of him. This is a good hockey team. Again, not a great hockey team. This is a good hockey team. What takes them to great is figuring out that center situation, because there's more than enough talent to go around with this team, and they just need to figure that one out.
Right.
Stay healthy.
Which I personally was very impressed to see how they just hit the ground running this season. I mean, I think we all were a little worried about losing some of our key guys and not maybe being at the same level, but they stepped up. So they just got to work out those little kinks. And I don't know.
Need that center production.
Yeah.
Have to have that center production. I know. We've been talking about that quite a bit. By the way, tonight with the Hurricanes and the Nashville Predators, it is a reunion with Brady Shea. As a matter of fact, they get a bunch of reunions here. New Jersey, Brett Pesce and Steph Nason get to run it back with them again, but it's our first look at Brady Shea in a Nashville uniform against his old mates. It is in Nashville, so don't worry about tribute videos or anything like that. I suppose those of you with advanced Photoshop skills could put your own tributes together for Brady Shea, who has played in all games, by the way. He's not been hurt, should be on the ice. He's been very healthy. Again, another one of those handsome men in hockey. You can't imagine how many times Brady Shea would show up at events and whatnot and be like, is Brady coming? Is Brady coming?
He seems like such a nice dude, too. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard from other fans that have met him, like, he'll sign anything after games and stuff. So he just seems like a really cool guy.
But tonight, we're going to kick your ass. Yeah.
Butts.
Yeah.
Like Dave Canales.
Yeah,
The butts.
Like Dave Canales. All the butts. All the butts. So, yeah, Carolina Hurricanes on a run. We've exhausted that, and Panthers, good vibes there, too. It has been a full day, folks. It truly has been a full day. It's been a very fun day, too, as we lead into the Christmas holiday, and appreciate all of you joining us. Again, this is that time of year that's tough on a lot of folks. I know it's tough to be lonely. I've spent time away from family and friends, and those of you who serve in the military or families in the military, it's even more challenging for you. So I encourage you to take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Try to take moments for yourself, too, as well, because the holidays can be just as crowded as they can be with family. They can be just as lonely with family as well, too. So be cool to each other, and I appreciate all of you. Enjoy the sports day, everybody. Thank you so much, Victoria. And as always, keep it on the shiny part.